Chapter 519. Keep. Hearing the sound, Lin Rei was helpless. The only thing he could do was to keep it and make it recognize him as its master. Huh? You want to run? In order to prevent the previous incident from happening, Lin Rei had set up many formations in advance. He was afraid that he would not be able to control it after he mastered it. Indeed, what had happened earlier still happened. However, Linley had already taken precautions against what had happened earlier. When he saw that the 9-story pagoda was about to break free from his control, Linley hurriedly set up several trapping formations in the surrounding area. They were all Emperor-level trapping formations to begin with, but under Linley's design, they were all linked together. Linley wasn't even sure what the final level of the trapping formations would be, but as for their power, it was obvious. The 9-story pagoda wanted to break free from the trap formations. In the end, it was just wishful thinking. Seeing this, Lin Rei chuckled. Then, he came to the 9-story pagoda and reached out to grab it. Humph, little thing, I made you, and you're still trying to play tricks on me. As he spoke, Linley slapped his palm against the body of the 9-story pagoda. And then, with a dong sound, the sound of the bell once more rang out. Damn, what's going on? It's obviously a pagoda. Why is there a bell ringing? He was very clear about the things that he had refined, but this inexplicable sound of the bell had blinded him, and he didn't know what it was. Lin Rei, who could not figure it out for a long time, gave up directly. Then, he dripped his blood into the 9-story pagoda. Suddenly, a brilliant light shone in the whole room. If it were not for the formation, the brilliant light would have rushed up to the sky and entered the 9 heavens. After a quarter of an hour, Lin Rei completely controlled the 9-story pagoda's power. Of course, if Lin Rei had not refined it himself, a quarter of an hour would not be enough to completely control it. It would take at least a few years to completely refine it. Oh, it's okay. Although it's a little different from the universal bell. But its performance is still okay. As he spoke, Lin Rei waved his hand. The 9-story pagoda appeared in his hand and sat there quietly. TSK, what should I name it? Thinking of names, Lin Rei was in a difficult position. What he hated the most in his life was naming. Now that he thought about it, none of his children's names were his. The only exception was his son, Jin-en. As he thought about this, Lin Rei lowered his head to look at the 9-storied pagoda in his hands. The pagoda's body was purple and it was graceful and majestic. But there was a stroke of genius on the pagoda that added the finishing touch. There was a blood-colored bell hanging on each of the 4 sides of the 9-story tower. It gave the entire 9-story tower a demonic and evil feeling, but overall it looked very good. That's right. You were refined using the Void Stone as your main body, so I'll call you the Void Tower. Right here. Lin Rei's eyes lit up. He seemed to have thought of something and immediately opened his mouth to speak. 1. When 9-story pagoda heard Lin Rei's words, his body trembled, as if he were very excited to receive this name. Okay, I'll call you the Void Tower from now on. Looking at the first spatial magic treasure he refined, Lin Rei's heart was filled with indescribable excitement. Especially when he thought of the function room of the Void Tower, Lin Rei became even more excited. Originally, Lin Rei only wanted the Void Tower to have the same function as the Cosmos Bell. But in the end, the Void Tower exceeded Lin Rei's imagination. Although it looked like it had 9 floors from the outside, it was different from the inside. Each floor had 3,000 spaces, and there were different sceneries inside. Of course, as long as Lin Rei thought about it, he could change them at will. Lin Rei was very excited about this. Similarly, the Void Tower was not only a storage space, but Lin Rei had also engraved a large number of formations on it during the refining process. It could be said that the Void Tower was an existence that was both offensive and defensive. Looking at the Void Tower in his hand and the divine weapons he refined on the ground, he did not even look at them. He put them into an empty storage bag, opened the door, and walked out. Lei Ji, you came out in the afternoon. As soon as Lin Rei stepped out of the room, he heard the male brother's anxious voice. Then, Lin Rei looked in front of him suspiciously and realized that it wasn't just the male brother. Even Lin Tian was the same. Hee hee, you guys, what's wrong with you guys? Looking at them, Lin Rei was very confused. He didn't know why they were so anxious. Husband, today is the start of the auction. According to the time, if you don't hurry, it might start soon. At this moment, when Luing saw his husband's confused expression, he immediately spoke up. Oh! Hearing this, Lin Rei returned to his senses. He forgot that the male brother was so anxious because he heard about the auction. Looking up at the sky, Lin Rei's eyes focused and he said, "Let's go. Let's go see what treasures they have at the auction." With that, Lin Rei stored the void tower in his hand into the system and lowered his head to pull Luing outside. "Let's go, let's go, let's go." Seeing that Lin Rei was leaving, the male brother couldn't wait and hurriedly followed. At this moment, he had a smile on his face and was as happy as a child. Heh! Hearing the joyous sounds coming from behind, Lin Rei didn't need to turn around to imagine the male brother's expression at this moment. Just like that, Lin Rei silently walked to Xiao Yao Pavilion and took out the invitation given to him by the service staff before walking in. "Dear guests, you're here." As soon as he entered Xiao Yao Pavilion, the service staff from that day appeared in front of Lin Rei and spoke in a gentle tone. "HM? He." Looking at him, Lin Rei obviously didn't think that he was waiting for him, so he didn't pay too much attention to it. He nodded and prepared to leave. "Hey sir, please wait for a moment. Your room is upstairs and it's noisy downstairs. How could I let you sit there?" "Oh." Hearing the service staff's words, Lin Rei was at a loss. He really couldn't figure out why. "Sir, come with a smile." The service staff's voice sounded again. Hearing this, Lin Rei hurriedly followed. Although he didn't know what the service staff was up to, Lin Rei also liked to have a secluded place. Along the way, they didn't speak and just followed the service staff until they arrived at the door of a private room in the center of the second floor. "Sir, please go in. This room is reserved for you." Hearing this, Lin Rei looked over. With one look, Lin Rei was startled. At this moment, the door of the private room was made of snow pear wood. Snow pear wood was extremely rare in the immortal world and was extremely precious in the immortal world. However, it was made into a door here. Because of this, Lin Rei had no choice but to re-evaluate the strength of Xiao Yao Pavilion. "Oh right, call the person in charge here. Tell him that I have a business deal to discuss with him." This time, Lin Rei's main purpose was to auction off his divine tools and elixirs. Seeing that the service staff was about to leave, Lin Rei couldn't help but speak. "Okay, please wait a moment. I'll call our person in charge here." Hearing Lin Rei's words, the service staff hurriedly nodded and left. Seeing the service staff leave, Lin Rei hurriedly pushed open the door and walked in. "Damn, this is..." Just as Lin Rei entered, a surprised voice came from behind. Then, the figure of a young man appeared. He went directly to the table and touched the table with a face full of surprise. "Sweetheart wood, this is the rarest sweetheart wood for refining tools. Damn, this is..." At this point, the young man's eyes swept over a white crystal ball on the side. Then, the young man decisively left the table and walked to the crystal ball to touch it. Seeing this, Lin Rei helplessly shook his head and covered his face in embarrassment. He really didn't want to know this person in front of him. "That's enough, young man. Aren't you ashamed? In any case, you used to run a business and were popular in the immortal world. Look at you now, what have you become?" At this time, Lin Tian couldn't stand it anymore and directly walked up to the young man and said, Hearing Lin Tian's words and seeing everyone's reaction, the young man immediately knew that he was acting strangely. He hurriedly corrected his attitude and said seriously, "Brother Lei, you don't know how precious these things are. They are all rare heavenly treasures. I just didn't expect that they would be treated as decorations here." As he spoke, the young man pointed at the white crystal ball and said excitedly, "This is a stalactite bead formed by millions of years of condensed divine sense in the stalactite liquid. Its effects can't be compared to ordinary things." After hearing the young man talk about the white bead, Lin Ray couldn't help but be shocked. When he entered, he felt that this carefree pavilion was different. He didn't expect, "All right, everyone stop touching. If someone sees us, they'll think that we're country bumpkins who haven't seen the world." As he spoke, Lin Ray put away all his curiosity. Furthermore, the things here had nothing to do with him. Even if he knew, it would only add to his envy and excitement. After pulling Lu Ying to a chair, Lin Ray took out some fruits he picked in the Divine Sect's forbidden area and placed them on the table for everyone to share. Then, he added the tea that was already prepared. "Eat and wait. I'm sure they'll be here soon." As he spoke, Lin Ray picked up a red fruit and bit into it. The fruit melted in his mouth and turned into a majestic energy that surged into his body, becoming a part of Lin Ray's energy. Feeling the fruit's effects, Lin Ray couldn't help but eat a few more mouthfuls. His face was filled with surprise. "Damn, boy, you're simply wasting natural resources recklessly?" Just as Lin Ray was about to refine all the fruits into a part of his energy, the little dragon's voice rang out. Xiaolong's voice suddenly rang out, causing Linley's heart to tremble. He asked suspiciously, "Why? Is this fruit very expensive?" At this moment the little dragon heard Lin Ray's words, an impulse to hit someone surged in its heart. Chapter 520. F*CKU. Can this be described as expensive or not? The purple spirit fruit is one of the main ingredients for refining supreme-level elixirs. There's also the waterwood fruit and the fire plume fruit. These were all left behind by me. How dare you give them to me, you? Speaking of this, Xiaolong's stomach was filled with anger. He couldn't wait to rush out and beat him up right now. What? Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Ray was stunned. He originally thought that the little dragon had left them behind because it felt that they were useless. F*CK then, Lin Ray, who came back to his senses, hurriedly kept the uneaten fruits on the table. When he thought of the fruits that he had eaten while waiting for her under the blanket, Lin Ray's heart ached. What's wrong with you?" At this moment Ruoxin, who was sitting next to him, asked worriedly. "Oh no, nothing." Lin Ray, who was enduring the pain in his heart, responded to his wife. Looking at the remaining half of the fruit in his hand, Lin Ray subconsciously kept it. At this moment, the little dragon in the system saw Lin Ray's actions and became even angrier. However, it didn't say anything. Dong dong dong. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. After hearing it, Lin Ray hurriedly said, "Please come in." With a zhiya, the door was pushed open and a beautiful figure, a curvaceous lady, walked in. However, what made people unhappy was that the lady's face was covered and her appearance couldn't be seen clearly. Looking at the lady, Lin Ray was slightly stunned. Then, he came back to his senses and asked, "Hello, let me introduce myself. I'm the manager of this carefree pavilion. I just heard that you wanted to do business with me." Hearing the lady's reply, Lin Ray hurriedly nodded. Then, he took out the storage bag with the legendary artifact and placed it on the table, making an inviting gesture. Seeing Lin Ray's actions, the woman smiled faintly. Her voice was as clear as an oriole's and her graceful figure. Fortunately, Lin Ray was a married man. Otherwise, he would have definitely been mesmerized by her laughter. The woman sat down, picked up the bag of holding on the table, and sent her divine sense into it. When she saw the dozen or so divine artifacts inside the bag, she was stunned. Withdrawing from the bag of holding, the woman's eyes widened as she stared at Lin Ray in shock. Her clear voice rang out, This, you want to? Not bad." After getting the confirmation, the woman quickly stood up and said to Lin Ray and the others, "My name is Kong Zhen. Do you intend to auction these items or sell them directly to our carefree pavilion? Regarding this issue, it was different. As the young man who had once owned the Nine Heavens Trading Company, he was the clearest about it. Miss Kong, there's no doubt about this. Of course, we'll auction them. Hearing this voice, Kong Zhen turned to look. When she saw that it was only her younger brother, Kong Zhen once again turned her gaze to Lin Li, asking for his opinion. However, Lin Rei naturally agreed with the young man's suggestion. After all, he was just a newbie in this aspect. Do as he says and auction them all. All right. After hearing the confirmation, the woman's face clearly showed her disappointment. However, she still nodded in agreement. Please wait a moment. I'll go and have your items appraised by the master. After the appraisal, I'll arrange for them to be auctioned. Having said that, Kong Zhen prepared to leave. However, just as she turned around, Lin Rei's voice rang out again. Wait, Miss Kong Zhen. Do you accept elixirs here? What? You still have elixirs to sell? At this moment, the woman was completely shocked. In the cultivation world, the most precious things were, of course, cultivation technique. However, other than cultivation techniques, the most precious things were elixirs and weapons. However, seeing the person in front of her sell two of the most important items at once, although she was the manager of Carefree Pavilion, this was the first time something like this had happened. That's right. If you're selling them, then let's sit down and talk. Of course, if you don't accept them, I can go to the Alchemist Guild and take a look at them. No. We'll accept them. As long as your goods are good, as long as they're good, there's nothing we won't accept. After saying that, Kong Zhen sat down again, looking as if she was discussing a big business deal. At this moment, Lin Rei's divine thought had entered the system and arrived at the place where the elixirs were automatically refined. He saw the little dragon standing there busily. Hey, little dragon, how's the refining of the elixirs? Not bad. Hearing Lin Rei's voice, the little dragon turned around and said with a relaxed face while holding a full bottle of elixirs. Well then, give me all the elixirs you've refined. After saying that, Lin Rei stretched out his hand to the little dragon. In Lin Rei's range, he should be able to refine at least 10 bottles in a month. Here. Looking at Lin Rei's hand, the little dragon gave a strange smile. Then, with a wave of his hand, a series of crackling sounds could be heard. In an instant, thousands of bottles flew towards Lin Rei. Damn you! Bang bang bang. Before Lin Li could even say anything, the thousands of bottles had completely swallowed him up. Ha 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 ha! As soon as this scene appeared, the little dragon laughed loudly. Even though Lin Rei was buried in the bottles, he could still hear the little dragon's laughter. You tricked me again. Even so, Lin Rei was not angry. His divine thought instantly enveloped all the elixir bottles around him. The moment a storage bag appeared, Lin Rei quickly put all the elixirs into it. After everything was done, Lin Rei regained his freedom. He snorted coldly at the little dragon and disappeared. His divine thought returned to his body, and then the storage bag with thousands of bottles of elixirs was placed in front of Kong Zhen. He said, Maybe there are a little too many elixirs here, if you can. Before Lin Rei finished speaking, Kong Zhen took the storage bag and her divine thought instantly entered the storage bag. Hiss! Kong Zhen sucked in a breath of cold air, and the shock on her face was undisguised. If there was one day in her life that gave her the most shock, it would undoubtedly be now. She really did not expect to receive such a large order today. Regaining her senses, Kong Zhen looked at Lin Li with curiosity in her eyes. In her heart, she said, Heh, how many more secrets do you have? Before coming here, I could sense that you had many secrets on you. But now, it seems I underestimated you. Thinking of this, Kong Zhen stood up and said to Lin Rei, All right, wait here for a moment, I'll go confirm it now. When everything is settled, I'll come back and report to you. Then, without waiting for Lin Rei to reply, Kong Zhen hurriedly left. Seeing that beautiful voice disappear, Lin Rei looked away. Was it nice? Suddenly, a voice sounded. Lin Rei, who was in a daze, answered without hesitation. It was nice. However, the moment he answered, Lin Rei regretted it because the voice belonged to his wife, Lu Ying. Ying listen to me. It's not what you think I'm ignoring you. Go look for her. Without waiting for Lin Rei to finish speaking, Lu Ying angrily left and walked to the side to sit down. Seeing this, Lin Rei was dumbfounded for a moment. He never thought that Lu Ying would be like this. Seeing that Lu Ying was still angry, Lin Rei didn't dare to go forward. In the place where he used to live, there was a saying, as long as a woman is angry, don't go forward because you'll die a horrible death. Although Lin Rei didn't want to admit it, he didn't dare to go forward. Just like that, the two of them sat on opposite sides, ignoring each other. The other two people in the room felt the atmosphere and didn't dare to interrupt. At this moment, on the top floor of Xiao Yao Pavilion, Kong Zhen handed the 2 storage bags in her hands to an old man and said, "Elder, take a look at these things." The old man, who was resting with his eyes closed, immediately opened his eyes when he heard Kong Zhen's voice. A smile appeared on his stern face. It's Miss. Take a look at these 2 things first." Seeing the old man's smile, Kong Zhen also smiled, but under that smile, there was a hint of excitement. Okay. The old man nodded in agreement and picked up the 2 storage bags in front of him. Without hesitation, he sent his divine sense into them. The same expression appeared on Kong Zhen's face as before. Her eyes widened and she looked extremely shocked. "How is it, Elder? Are these things real?" Actually, Kong Zhen already knew the answer when she saw the reaction. Miss, with these things, our Xiao Yao Pavilion is on a whole new level." Speaking up to this point, the wrinkles on his face were squeezed to the point where it was hard to look straight at him. "Really?" Hearing the old man's words, Kong Zhen's face was full of excitement. "Yes, but to be honest, Miss, these things are the best of the best. Take one of the divine weapons, for example. It's the best of the medium-grade divine weapons, and it's not inferior at all. Even a high-grade divine weapon is slightly inferior to it." "What? So strong?" Originally, she thought these things were good enough. She didn't expect them to be so strong. Because of this, Kong Zhen was even more curious about Lin Rei. Not only his identity, not only the 4 godly emperors who were hiding in the sky, but more importantly, he was a person. "Miss, where did you get these things? Such a large number of things. Could it be that the Alchemy Guild and the Weapon Refining Guild, from the looks of it, such a large number of things could only belong to these 2 guilds? No one else could have them." "No, these things were given to me by a very mysterious person to auction." "What? It's not." The old man was even more shocked after hearing Kong Zhen's reply. According to his knowledge, only these 2 guilds were capable of producing such a large number of items. If it were a sect, family, or empire, none of them would be capable of doing so. They would treasure these items, let alone sell them. If this wasn't the work of a guild, then the question was, who could have done it? Chapter 521. Alright, since these items are real, I'll add them to the auction according to their value. Kong Zhen was about to leave after finding out that these items were real. Just as she turned around, the old man's voice was heard again. "Young mistress, your friend is going to snatch those artifacts. No matter how much money it costs, these items will be of great use to our Kong family in the future." "Alright, I got it." Kong Zhen frowned after hearing the old man's words. No one knew what she was thinking. Then, she left the place after hearing the old man's words. She walked to the first floor where the auction would be held. She found the person in charge of this auction and spoke to him. "Don't be in a hurry to start. Just now, you and the mysterious man handed these items to me. The elders have judged that they are real. Later, we will auction them according to their rank. Remember, don't put them together, or else. Ha, young mistress, I know that. Don't worry. The old woman interrupted before Kong Zhen could finish her sentence. All right, I'll leave it to you. Kong Zhen trusted the old woman in front of her very much. After all, she was an old woman who had worked hard for her family all her life. After handing the items to the old woman, Kong Zhen walked to the second floor and knocked on the door of Lin Rei's room. Knock, knock, knock. At that moment, in his room, Lin Li heard a knock on the door. He hurriedly said, "Come in." Jia. The door opened and Kong Zhen appeared in front of Lin Rei, you and the others. Young master, our elders have confirmed your items and they have already been added to the auction. However, because you have a lot of items, the auction will have to wait for a while. After hearing Kong Zhen's reply, Lin Rei smiled and nodded. Thank you very much. Lin Rei didn't look at her anymore. His wife was beside him and he was still angry. If he looked around, he might really be done for. He ignored Kong Zhen. He thought that she would leave after saying her piece. However, after waiting for a while, Kong Zhen didn't seem to have any intention of leaving. Suddenly, Lin Tian, who was sitting beside him, asked, "Is there anything else, young Mistress Kong Zhen?" No. Hearing Lin Tian's question, Kong Zhen replied awkwardly. She really wanted to stay and get to know this man who made her feel curious, but looking at them, it seemed that they didn't welcome her at all. Then I'll take my leave first. Kong Zhen had no choice but to leave the room. However, she didn't go far away. Instead, she found a room next to Lin Rei's. At this moment, the moment Kong Zhen left the room, Lin Rei looked at Lin Tian with gratitude. Lin Tian sensed it and quickly responded. Just like that, the room fell into silence once more. No one spoke, and everyone was busy with their own things. I don't know how much time had passed, but suddenly, a voice that made everyone and even everyone present excited rang out. Hello everyone. I'm the auctioneer for this auction. I hope everyone can have a good time. It was a beautiful voice that made people want to peek at her face. Even Lin Rei, who was in the private room on the second floor, felt the same. The moment he heard the woman's voice, he narrowed his eyes and looked over. This was a very delicate girl. She was like a porcelain doll. She was so delicate that people didn't dare to touch her with their hands. Alright, let's cut to the chase. I know that everyone is here today because you want to bid for the things you want. However, I have good news to tell you. After hearing the woman's words, the people below the stage hooted, Chu Ling what good news? Yeah, what good news is it? Hurry up and say it. Yeah. At this moment, the entire unfettered pavilion was in an uproar. However, the woman on the stage called Chu Ling didn't panic. Instead, she slightly raised her voice and said, Just now, a mysterious person sold 13 divine tools to our unfettered pavilion. At the same time, he also sold a large amount of medicinal pills. Boom! Chu Ling-er's words caused the entire place to explode. In the past, 5 divine tools appearing in an auction was already very good. They didn't expect that 13 divine tools would appear in a row this time. What kind of concept was this? They couldn't imagine it. Alright, the auction is about to begin. Everyone, please keep quiet. Seeing everyone's excited appearance, Chu Ling-er on the stage became even more excited. This was because she knew that as long as the people below the stage were excited, she would be able to make money. In an instant, as soon as Chu Ling-er's voice fell, the entire place became very quiet. One could probably hear a pin drop on the ground. Looking at this scene, Chu Ling-er smiled and said, Alright, the auction is about to begin? As she spoke, a black-clothed attendant backstage carried a tray covered by a white cloth. He very carefully walked to the center of the stage and stood there waiting. Everyone, today's first auction item is a cultivation method from a mysterious ancient clan. It's called Phoenix Dance of the Ninth Heaven. It's an incomplete venerable level cultivation method, but its power is no less than a master level cultivation method. The gold medal price is 300,000 black gold coins. Each bid price is 30,000. The auction begins. Hearing Chu Ling-er's words, a wave of bidding suddenly set off. The people on the first floor below the stage began to bid crazily. 360,400, 000, 500, 000. Magic was very scarce. Sometimes, it was even more precious to those who didn't join a sect and were rogue cultivators. How could they give up on this opportunity in front of them? Even if they had to give up everything, they would do everything they could to get this thing. However, as the bidding continued, the Phoenix Dance of the Ninth Heaven, which was originally only worth 600,000 black gold coins, had been raised to 800,000. And from the looks of it, it didn't seem like it would stop there. This thing doesn't look like anything good. If it was a complete cultivation method, it might be worth buying, but it's only half. It's useless. It's better to buy it as toilet paper. At this moment, Lin Ray was in his room on the second floor. Seeing the fierce competition downstairs, Lin Ray didn't pay much attention to it. At this moment, the little dragon joined in the fun and ran to the window. Looking down at the heavy task below, the little dragon smiled and said disdainfully. Although the little dragon's words were unpleasant to hear, it was the truth. What was the use of a cultivation method with only half of it? It was better to use it as toilet paper. 1.05 million black gold coins. This sovereign doesn't believe that anyone will raise the price. A rough voice sounded. Immediately, Lin Ray stood up and went to the little dragon's side. Looking down, he saw a divine king expert with a face full of stubble. He looked at everyone present as if he was number one in the world. However, the moment the man finished speaking, everyone fell silent. It wasn't because they couldn't afford it. Those who came here to participate in the auction didn't have a family background. They had already lost interest in this cultivation method. Just like what Lin Ray said, this cultivation method was already worthless. Now that it was being auctioned, it had been maximized. They felt that the 1.05 million figure wasn't worth it. Of course, there were also some who lacked brains. 1.05 million going once. 1.05 million going twice. 1.05 million going thrice. Sold. Bang. The sound of the hammer couldn't be changed. Just like that, the cultivation method was successfully auctioned off. Congratulations on obtaining the Phoenix Dance of the Ninth Heaven. At this moment, Chu Ling-er, who was on the stage, said. She waved her hand and signaled the attendant who was dragging the cultivation method towards the man. One hand for the money and the other for the goods. This was the rule of the Carefree Pavilion. There was no precedent of credit. After this transaction was completed, Chu Ling-er on the stage started bidding again. Alright, it's a perfect start. I believe that the next part will be even more interesting. At this point, another attendant walked out from the backstage. He was also dragging a plate covered by a white cloth. Looking at the attendant, Chu Ling-er smiled slightly and said, "The second auction item is extraordinary. Not only can it increase your strength, but it can also give you a certain chance of possessing the bloodline of a true dragon. I believe that everyone is familiar with the bloodline of a true dragon." As soon as this was said, everyone was stunned. They knew about the bloodline of a true dragon. Similarly, everyone was looking forward to it being able to increase their strength. At this moment, in a private room on the second floor, the little dragon who was standing by the window hurriedly said to Lin Ray beside him, "No matter what method you use, you must get this item." What? The little dragon's words caught Lin Ray off guard. One had to know that the previous incomplete cultivation method was already sold for 1.05 million black gold. Not to mention that it could increase one's cultivation and had a certain chance of obtaining the bloodline of a true dragon. At this moment, when Lin Ray thought about the astronomical price of the token, Lin Ray felt a headache. Of course, his heart hurt even more. "TCH, don't give me both. The pills I refined for you before were enough to get this item. Not to mention that you refined 13 divine artifacts, so I believe that you have the ability. Good luck. Looking at the little dragon's annoying face, Lin Rei felt uncomfortable. At the same time, he apologized to those who were not yet his, but were about to become his, but he did not warm up to them. Alright, this item was condensed from the death of a divine dragon emperor. It's called the Dragon Pearl. The price of the token is 800,000 black gold. Each increment is 100,000. The auction begins. Hiss, as soon as this was said, everyone couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. 800,000 black gold. Each increment was 100,000. What kind of concept was this? In Lin Rei's opinion, this was undoubtedly sucking his blood. However, despite this, there were still people who desperately bid for it. It was for no other reason than to increase their cultivation. 1 million black gold with a whoosh, the price was raised to 1 million right from the start. Everyone on the first floor exclaimed in surprise and looked up at one of the private rooms on the second floor. Chapter 522. Everyone's face was filled with shock. They all wanted to know who could have done such a thing. Not only the first floor, but the people in the other private rooms on the second floor also wanted to know. However, because each private room had its own independent formation that blocked the divine sense, no one knew. Go 1 million. Why don't you go and die? It's just a Dragon Ball. Do you have to be so excited? At this moment, Lin Rei was startled when he heard the huge sum of 1 million. Then, he began to nag at the person who called out the price. TSK, you still have the nerve to say that. I remember when it was. I think it was in the immortal world. You flaunted your wealth even more than that person just now. You threw out tens of millions in one go. Now that you're broke, you're starting to hate the rich? Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon recalled while teasing Lin Rei. Lin Rei was speechless because what the little dragon said was the truth. 1,500,000 black gold, another voice that made Lin Rei's heart ache sounded. This time, Lin Rei felt even more pain. Then, Lin Rei looked over and saw a young man in a python robe standing at the window, looking down at everyone with a look that said, I'm rich, I'm awesome. Wow. It's the Yuandao Empire's royal prince, Zhou. I didn't expect the Yuandao Empire to send him to this martial arts conference. What, Zhou? At this moment, the moment everyone saw the young man's brain, one of them exclaimed and looked at him with eyes full of envy. Yuandao Empire? Lin Rei had heard of this force before, but it was just hearsay. He didn't know much about it and didn't expect to meet it at this time. Looking at Zhou, Lin Rei was unhappy. Didn't he just have a father with power and wealth? Didn't he have an empire that had been passed down for countless years? In the end, he still had to rely on himself. The little dragon at the side deeply despised Lin Rei's behavior of hating the rich. How could the parasitic system in a dead body not know what Lin Rei was thinking? That's enough. Isn't it just a rich and powerful background? What's there to be envious about? Don't you still have me? Don't you still have the system? Even if the entire divine realm, the holy realm, and even the Hongmeng realm that has yet to meet with any mishap were added together, it still wouldn't be enough. Hearing Little Dragon's words, Lin Rei didn't think that he was joking, nor did he think that the other party was bragging. He was very clear about the little dragon's strength and the strength of his own system. Just the system alone was already so strong at level 2. If it was fully activated, how strong would it be? Alright, let's take a look at them first. I want to see how many forces have come to the Tendo convention. However, I hope that the demon path will appear the most. With that, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with anticipation as he continued to watch. Oh, I was wondering who it was. So it's Yuandao's Zhou. At this moment, an extremely sinister voice sounded. Humph. Zhozha frowned when he heard the voice. He looked at the private room with a vicious expression. Shameless thing, come out if you have the ability. What ability do you have to hide behind the scenes? Lin Rei was most willing to watch this kind of dog-eat-dog drama. After all, he would be the one to profit in the end. Alright everyone, please take a break in my Kong family's territory. This is my Kong family's auction house. If you want to quarrel or fight, I'm sorry, turn left at the door. Just as the crowd was about to start a fight, a cold voice sounded. Immediately, the fight was strangled in the cradle. Why does this voice sound so familiar? Lin Rei felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity with the voice of the person who stopped him. He felt like he had heard this voice before, but he just couldn't remember where. However, the two people who were stunned by the person who claimed to be from the Kong family didn't have the chance to talk to each other. Instead, they returned to their private rooms and continued to compete. 2 million, you. Just when everyone thought that the fight was over, the person who confronted Zhozha raised the price. Zhozha couldn't afford to lose his temper. Immediately, a fight began in the market. However, they didn't know that the one who suffered in the end was actually Lin Rei. 3 million. Immediately after, he raised the price to 3 million. However, at this moment it was no longer 100,000. Instead, it increased by millions with every bid. 4 million, 5 million, just like that, the two of them raised the price to 9 million. Until now, Zhozha didn't say anything. You want to compete with me in terms of wealth? Don't think that you have endless money just because you're a prince of the Yuan Dao Empire. You don't deserve to compete with me in terms of wealth. When he spoke up to here, all of them were extremely shocked. They didn't dare speak such words when facing a colossus like the Yuan Dao Empire. Because of this, all of them started to guess exactly which sect that person who made the bid belonged to. Crazy, really crazy. No, At this moment, Zhozha, who heard someone provoking him, seemed to have gone mad. He stood up and was about to raise the price again. However, an old man standing behind him quickly stopped him. Third Prince, don't raise the price. Don't forget why we're here this time. If you continue like this, I'm afraid His Majesty will. Enough, don't talk to me about him. Upon hearing the old man's words, Zhozha roared at him. However, he didn't raise the price again. Instead, he weakly sat back in his seat. Alright, Hong Lao, I'm sorry for just now. I couldn't control myself. I hope you can forgive me. When Zhozha realized that he had lost his composure earlier, he quickly apologized to Hong Lao. In every royal family, there were people who could rope in this kind of person, such as Hong Lao in front of him. He was a mighty figure that Zhozha had invited after 3 visits. It's alright, Third Prince. You can't do this. Those who achieve great things don't care about trifles. You don't have to be like this today. It was originally an insignificant matter, but if you really make a fuss, you'll suffer in the end. In response to Hong Lao's words, Zhozha nodded repeatedly. Although he revealed a relaxed smile, he was extremely furious at this moment. Yes, I know, Hong Lao. Let's watch, Zhozha said, perfectly hiding his anger. Then, he shifted his gaze to the tray below. The unwillingness in his eyes was exposed. Hong Lao, who stood behind him, saw this scene and shook his head helplessly. At this moment, the scene had been overwhelmed by 9 million. No one dared to make a sound, and no one could make a sound. 9 million black gold. This wasn't as simple as 9 million gold coins. 9 million going once. At this moment, Chu Ling-er, who was standing on the stage, began to call out. However, every time she called out, she would pause for a while to see if anyone was raising the price. 9 million going twice, 9 million going thrice. Just when everyone thought that the matter was settled, a discordant voice suddenly sounded. 10 million! Wow! At this moment, the scene was no longer quiet. The moment the words, 10 million, appeared, the entire scene became restless. Everyone shifted their gaze to Lin Ray's private room on the second floor. At this moment, everyone began to guess who was in the room. As for the previous bid of 9 million, everyone had already forgotten about it. At this moment, although Lin Ray was in the room, his hand was already clutching his chest tightly. His face looked like he wanted to cry, but no tears came out. It was very funny. That's enough, that's enough. At this moment, Little Dragon, who was standing at the side, couldn't stand it anymore. Can you not be so embarrassing? Isn't it just 10 million? It's not like we're cutting your flesh and drinking your blood. Do you have to go so far? Lin Ray ignored Little Dragon's words and continued to look below. 10 million, 10 million, is there anyone else who wants to raise the price? 10 million going once, 10 million going twice. 10 million going twice, is there anyone who wants to raise the price? 10 million going thrice, bang! Once the hammer was struck, there was no way to change it. In the end, Linley bought the Dragon Pearl for 10 million gold coins. Congratulations to the VIP in Private Room 206 for buying the Dragon Pearl for 10 million. At this moment, Chu Ling also began to be interested in the person who bid 10 million. The waiter dragged the tray to the second floor. Just as he was about to reach Lin Ray's room, the door next to it opened. Kong Zhen walked out and called out to the waiter. Wait a moment. Perhaps there was no one in the entire Carefree Pavilion who didn't know Kong Zhen. After hearing the call, the waiter turned around. The moment he saw Kong Zhen, he immediately knelt on the ground and said respectfully, "This servant greets Mississippi. May I know why Miss has called for this servant? Get up first." Looking at the waiter kneeling in front of her, Kong Zhen couldn't stand it anymore and asked him to stand up. Yes, this servant obeys. It wasn't good for him to disobey Kong Zhen's orders. The waiter stood there motionlessly and didn't even dare to breathe loudly, as if Kong Zhen was going to eat him alive. That's enough. Give me the things in your hands. Also, remember, you don't have to rush up to withdraw the money from the items in room 206 today. Just send the items over. As for the settlement, I'll deal with it after the auction. After saying that, Kong Zhen handed over the tray and sent the waiter away. Alright, you can go now. After saying that, Kong Zhen didn't look at him and went straight to Lin Ray's room and knocked on the door. Knock, 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 coming. When he heard the door open, he didn't need to think to know that the items were delivered. Come in. After saying that, the door opened and Kong Zhen appeared in front of Lin Ray. You? Seeing that it was Kong Zhen, Lin Ray didn't say anything for a moment. However, his eyes were already fixed on the Dragon Pearl in Kong Zhen's hand. Chapter 523. Hee, I'm here to give you the Dragon Ball. As for the price of the auction, our Carefree Pavilion will deduct it from the items you auction here. As she spoke, Kong Zhen hurriedly placed the tray in front of Lin Ray. She didn't stay any longer. She knew that she couldn't bring too much here, and she didn't want to make a fool of herself. Seeing Kong Zhen leave, Lin Ray didn't pay any more attention to her. Instead, he took the Dragon Ball from the tray and poured his spirit chi into it. Suddenly, a dragon's roar was heard. Roar! The roar was so loud that Lin Ray's ears were ringing from the roar. Hee, this is it. You're really lucky this time. At this moment, the little dragon standing to the side said excitedly. However, at this moment, everyone in the Carefree Pavilion was shocked, especially when they heard the dragon's roar. As the saying goes, some people are happy while others are sad. At this moment, the person who bid 9 million was flushed with anger. Go. Investigate. Find out who it is. I want to see who dares to snatch something from me. At this moment, in the fourth room 3 rooms away from Lin Ray, a black-clothed middle-aged man with a murderous look on his face said, "Yes, your subordinate understands." The middle-aged man behind him heard the black-clothed man's words and disappeared from the room after answering. The middle-aged man, who had been hiding in midair, exited his room and slowly inched towards Linley's room. Just as he was about to draw near, he suddenly felt a cold sensation from behind him, and a sense of danger slowly crept in. Sensing this, the middle-aged man wanted to push away, but it was already too late. Blood 15, who was hidden in the air, instantly appeared and slapped him with his palm. The middle-aged man was completely caught off guard, and he was sent flying by Blood 15's palm strike. Just as the middle-aged man was sent flying, the other three people who were also hidden in the air immediately joined forces and subdued the middle-aged man without making a sound. Everything happened in an instant. Before anyone realized it, the battle had already ended. Let's go. Looking at the middle-aged man, Blood 15 wanted nothing more than to kill him. He then led the middle-aged man to Lin Ray's door and pushed it open. With a plop, Blood 15 and the others completely sealed the middle-aged man's cultivation and tossed him onto the ground before standing respectfully to the side. Tell me, who sent you here? Needless to say, Lin Ray was pleasantly surprised to see that the opponent's cultivation level was very high, just like Shui 15. He was also a divine emperor. Humph. The middle-aged man on the ground coldly snorted when he heard Lin Ray's question. He didn't say anything, but one could see the shock in his eyes. All right, since that's the case, then forget it. Anyway, I don't intend to get anything out of you. At this point, Lin Ray raised his head and said to Blood 15 at the door, "Search him for everything from before, then kill him and throw him back to the door of the room he came out from." Yes. Hearing Lin Ray's order, Blood 15 directly destroyed the middle-aged man's Dan Palace. Then, the middle-aged man screamed. Fortunately, Lin Ray had already set up a barrier. Otherwise, the man's screams would have spread out. After doing all this, Blood 15 didn't care about the middle-aged man's screams. He just slapped the middle-aged man's Baihui acupoint. In an instant, the Divine Emperor died. "Young master, this is his storage ring, as well as all the things he had on him." Blood 15 searched the middle-aged man's body for a while, then found a ring. This was the magic artifact that the middle-aged man had been wearing. After handing it to Linley, Blood 15 led the other three, carrying the corpse of the middle-aged man and disappearing from the room. Ha ha! Lin Ray didn't care too much about this little episode. After all, he had been too ostentatious and would definitely attract people's attention and investigation. At this moment, in the hall on the first floor of the Carefree Pavilion, people paid less attention to Lin Ray. After all, they had come here for the auction. Lin Ray wasn't interested in the items that were being auctioned at all. It could even be said that he didn't care to look at them. Before long, all the divine tools and pills that he had put up for auction appeared. Lin Ray was looking forward to seeing the value of the divine tools that he had refined. In the end, they didn't disappoint Lin Ray. Every single one of them sold for more than 10 million black gold. Lin Ray was very happy about this. As for the pills, although they were all divine emperors, there were still many of them in the god realm. As a result, more than 1,000 bottles of pills were sold for more than 70 million black gold. Lin Ray was very happy about such a large sum of money. However, apart from the Dragon Ball that he had bought, there was nothing else that Lin Ray was interested in. The auction was coming to an end. When Lin Ray saw that there wasn't anything good, he prepared to leave. He stood up, looked at the window, and said to Lu Ying and the other two, "Let's go. There's nothing to see here. It's time to go back." As he spoke, he lifted his foot and walked outside. At this moment, a voice rang out. After hearing it, Lin Ray glanced at it from the corner of his eye. Then, he froze on the spot. The next item to be auctioned is a sword that was obtained from an ancient tomb. This sword has no rank, but its hardness is very high. After thousands of years of research by the Carefree Pavilion's elders, they still couldn't discover its function. Therefore, it's being auctioned again today. The starting price is 500,000 black gold, and each bid is 50,000 black gold. The auction starts now. Once this was said, everyone fell silent. Who would buy a weapon without a rank? So what if it was hard? In the end, it was a piece of trash that couldn't be ranked. However, at this moment, Lin Rei was excited. Zijin, Imu, Kuei-tu, and Huoshi, the 4 10,000 arts swords had been found. Just now, Lin Rei glanced around and realized that the last 10,000 arts sword was being auctioned. Did you see it? Seeing this, Lin Rei couldn't help but ask the little dragon. Not bad. It really is the last 10,000 arts sword. Hee, I didn't expect your luck to be so good. Lin Li and Xiaolong explained to each other what was being auctioned. They confirmed that the only item being auctioned was the 10,000 laws sword. It seems that I can't leave now. Immediately, Lin Rei sat back down and fixed his eyes on the 10,000 arts sword on the stage. This was a necessary virtue for him, no matter who tried to stop him. However, what made Lin Rei excited was that, at this moment, after the auctioneer said 500,000 black gold, no one bid. This made Lin Rei very excited. Do you have 500,000? At this moment, when the auctioneer on the stage saw that no one wanted to buy it, she was about to put it away. Just as she was about to wave her hand to dismiss the attendant behind her, a voice sounded. 550,000, huh? Everyone was very familiar with this voice. Immediately, everyone looked at room 206 on the second floor with doubt. In everyone's mind, this sword was useless, but in Lin Rei's view, this sword was indeed very useful and powerful. Even if he had to exchange 5 artifacts for it, he would be willing to do so. Okay, 550,000 going once, going twice, 550,000 going thrice. Seeing that the 10,000 arts sword was about to be in his hand, Lin Rei was excited. But at this moment, just as the auctioneer's hammer was about to fall, a voice sounded. 800,000. As soon as this voice sounded, everyone on the first floor was in an uproar. Everyone began to discuss spiritedly. Look, there's a good show to watch. Because the one who bid was none other than the one who was intercepted by Lin Rei. You want revenge? Lin Rei didn't need to think to know what the other party was thinking. It must be because of the trouble he caused by buying the Dragon Ball with 10 million black gold. Lin Li, kill him. You're rich now. Killing him is as easy as flipping your hand. Looking at the little dragon's angry look, Lin Rei didn't give the other party any face and directly offered a sky-high price. 10 million. What? As soon as these words came out, the man exclaimed. But soon, he felt strange and immediately shut his mouth. However, the anger in his heart couldn't be suppressed. Who the hell is this person? How can he have such financial resources? 10 million, 10 million. Thinking of this, the man couldn't help but look behind, but found that there was no one. He's not back yet. He remembered that he had asked him to investigate the other party's information, but he didn't expect that the other party hadn't returned yet. Suddenly, the young man felt that something was wrong, but with his current level, he couldn't afford it. 10 million going once, 10 million going twice, 10 million going thrice, sold, purring. The hammer sounded. Seeing that the last 10,000 arts sword had fallen into his bag, Lin Rei's heart finally relaxed. Dong dong dong, hearing the knocking sound, Lin Rei knew that the 10,000 arts sword had been delivered. Then, he hurriedly said, "Come in." Similarly, the person who came in was still Kong Zhen, who gave him the Dragon Ball. After entering the room, she put the long sword on the table as before, but this time, she didn't leave like before. This is the fee you received from the Carefree Pavilion's auction group. As for the Dragon Ball and the sword, we have already deducted it from your money. Kong Zhen took out a blue storage ring and handed it to Lin Rei. Well, thank you very much. As for the remaining money, Lin Rei didn't put it away. Instead, he casually threw it to the young man beside him. Here, take it. Maybe it will be useful in the future. Okay. Of course, the young man knew Lin Rei's way of doing things, so he didn't refuse and kept it in his hand. What they didn't know was that this action shocked Kong Zhen. Although 100 million was nothing in her eyes, it was still a large sum in a sect. However, at this moment, it was casually thrown away by this mysterious man in front of her, as if he was throwing away trash. Lin Rei didn't care about Kong Zhen's thoughts at all. What he cared about most at this moment was the 10,000 art sword. Ignoring Kong Zhen, who was still in the room, Lin Rei lifted the cloth covering the 10,000 arts sword and grabbed it. Chapter 524. Looking at the rusty appearance, Lin Rei's heart ached. Then, Lin Rei began to caress the 10,000 laws sword lovingly. His movements were gentle, as if he was caressing his own child. Lin Tian and the others were not surprised by Lin Rei's actions. However, Kong Zhen from the free and unfettered pavilion was puzzled. She was very familiar with this sword. It had been appraised by all the elders of the Kong family. In the end, everyone agreed that it was a useless sword. She did not understand why the person in front of her would spend tens of millions to buy a useless sword. Haha, it really is it. Awaken for me. When Lin Rei discovered that the sword in his hand was the last 10,000 laws sword, he became excited. Then, the aura of the other 10,000 laws swords hidden in his body completely erupted at this moment. A majestic sword intent broke out of his body and instantly entered the 10,000 laws sword. At this moment, a strange thing happened. Kong Zhen would never forget this scene for the rest of her life. The originally rusty sword began to change under the fusion of Lin Rei's sword intent. The rusty parts began to fall off. A blue light rushed out, accompanied by waves of water ripples that spread throughout the room. What this? This scene was very obvious. After sensing this scene, Kong Zhen was very shocked. She did not expect that the ancient sword that the elders of her family had studied for thousands of years would be awakened by sword intent. Moreover, it was awakened by a late-stage divine weapon junior. 1. The sword's hum instantly spread throughout the room. If Lin Rei had not set up a formation, perhaps the entire Heaven's Wall city would have heard it. Ha ha ha! Hearing the sword's hum, Lin Rei raised his head and laughed. At this moment, he was very excited. As time passed, the rusty longsword completely disappeared. At this moment, in front of everyone was a long sword with ripples on it. It was blue in color and was very dazzling. Heavenly Water 10,000 Laws Sword. Heh, it really is a sword of the 5 elements. Together with the previous sword, it forms the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. As he spoke, Lin Rei grabbed the hilt of Qian Shui's sword and casually drew a line in the air. A ripple of water instantly appeared in front of him. Not bad. Its power is not bad. It just so happens that you don't have a sword right now, so it appeared at the right time. At this moment, the little dragon standing at the side looked at Qian Shui and said to Lin Rei with a smile. Not bad. Previously, I gave all the other 10,000 law swords to Yuner. I didn't expect that without the 10,000 law swords, I would feel a lot of discomfort. At this point, Lin Rei could not wait to rush out and try out the swordsmanship that he had not used for a long time. This sword, at this moment, a voice drifted over. Instantly, Lin Rei's brows furrowed. He lifted his head and saw Kong Zhen staring dumbfoundedly at the long sword in his hand, an expression of shock on her face. What's wrong? Don't tell me you want to take back the things you paid for. Lin Rei couldn't guarantee anything about the woman in front of him. After all, he was in someone else's territory. Therefore, Lin Rei had to be careful. No. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the woman hurriedly nodded, but out of curiosity, she couldn't help but ask. In the end, she couldn't help but ask, how does this sword? Seeing the sincerity in his eyes, Lin Li didn't try to hide anything. That's right. Ordinary items won't be able to open it. And you're right. This sword is unranked, but its power isn't what you've described. With that, Lin Rei casually swung his sword. At the same time, the power of Qian Shui was instantly activated by Lin Rei. With a wong sound, waves of sword chi instantly rushed out of the 10,000 law swords and filled the entire room, but it did not harm anyone. After sensing this, Kong Zhen was both happy and regretful. She was happy that this sword was very powerful, but regretful that she did not discover it before he did. Alright, we've achieved our goal here, so we won't stay any longer. Our mission here had been completed, and there was an unexpected surprise. Lin Rei had enough. Moreover, he believed that there wouldn't be anything good to be auctioned next. Therefore, staying here would only be a waste of time. With that, Lin Rei prepared to leave. However, just as he reached the door, he was stopped by Kong Zhen. "Sir, don't be in such a hurry to leave." Hearing this, Lin Li turned to look at her warily. He didn't understand why she had called out to him. It's not that I don't want to let you go, but you've been too ostentatious in my carefree pavilion. Therefore, there are many powerful people waiting at the door. If you go out like this, who do you think you can beat?" "What?" Lin Rei didn't expect Kong Zhen to explain the situation. However, when he thought of the many powerful people, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. "You guys wait here for a while. When the people outside have left, I'll inform you." After saying this to Lin Rei, Kong Zhen left the room. Looking at Kong Zhen leaving, Lin Rei didn't say anything. At this moment, the auction on the first floor was nearing its end. The last item to be auctioned was an alchemy furnace. Lin Rei wasn't interested in this at all. He had enough worldly huayu. In the end, the alchemy furnace was bought by a person on the third floor at a high price. Just like that, the auction came to an end. "Alright, thank you for coming here to participate in this auction. After 1,000 years, my carefree pavilion will hold another auction." Saying this, Chu Ling retreated backstage. At this moment, the people on the first floor gradually left. As for the people on the second floor, many had left. "Who is it?" At this moment, an angry roar was heard. Hearing this voice, Lin Rei's face revealed a strange smile. "Haha, it seems like that person knows that his subordinate is dead." At this moment, not far from Lin Rei's room, the black-clothed young man pushed open the door and came out. He saw that the person he had sent to find out the news was already dead, lying in front of him with a cold body. Suddenly, a wave of anger surged in his heart. He couldn't stop himself from roaring at the sky with his cultivation. Suddenly, the entire carefree pavilion, including the passers-by on the street, heard this roar. Those who hadn't left yet didn't hurry to leave after hearing this roar. Instead, they walked forward to watch the show. "Guest, my carefree pavilion doesn't prohibit noise. If you continue to act like this, my carefree pavilion won't ignore it." At this moment, after hearing the angry roar, a servant of the carefree pavilion hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. At the same time, when the servant finished speaking, several ghostly figures appeared in an instant. The aura on each of them was enough to intimidate everyone present. Seeing this, the black-clothed man could only swallow his anger. After all, he knew that he wasn't in his own territory at this moment. "Good, you guys are really something." With that, the black-clothed man got ready to leave. He lifted his feet and walked downstairs. "Wait, this is your subordinate. Even if he's dead, he can't die in my carefree pavilion. Please take him away." The black-clothed man, who had just reached the top of the stairs, stopped abruptly when he heard this. In the end, he sullenly turned around and walked to the corpse. He reached out to carry the corpse and walked out. This small episode ended just like that. However, the black-clothed man who had walked out of Carefree Pavilion didn't leave. Instead, he hid at the door. As for the corpse, he had already put it into his storage ring the moment he left Carefree Pavilion. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was in the room, saw that everyone had left. Then, Lin Rei said to Lu Ying and the others, "Relax, I'll put you guys away. When we're somewhere safe, I'll take you out." Without waiting for Lu Ying's reply, Lin Rei immediately put the three of them into the system. Then, He swallowed a transformation pill and his face started to change. An extremely ugly figure appeared. After observing his transformation, Lin Rei pushed open the door and went downstairs. He blended into the crowd and safely left Carefree Pavilion. As for the people hiding around Carefree Pavilion, Lin Rei didn't care at all. Instead, he returned to his rented place alone. Only then did he relax. "Ha! You want to stop me? You're still too inexperienced." With that, Lin Rei sat on the bed. Then, with a thought, he released Lu Ying and the others. At this moment, after Kong Zhen saw that everyone had left, she went to the second floor. Just as she opened the door, she saw that the room was empty except for Lin Rei and the other three. "Humph, how dare you lie to me? I, Kong Zhen, have never been lied to before. Just you wait, I'll find you." Looking at the empty room, Kong Zhen was in a daze for a while. Then, she closed the door and left. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had already returned to his residence, didn't know that he had been marked by Kong Zhen, who always paid back her debts. "Alright, you guys go get 2 more rooms. Try not to leave these 2 days and cultivate well in your rooms. When the time comes, I'll come back to find you guys." "Yes." Hearing Lin Rei's order, Lin Tian and the other male disciples left first, leaving only Lin Rei and Lu Ying in the room. The room became quiet for a while. The two of them didn't speak, and this continued for a long time. Finally, Lu Ying couldn't hold it in and spoke first. "What about those people?" After hearing this, Lin Rei smiled and said, "Haha, them? It's best if they don't provoke me. If they provoke me, I don't care what sect they're from. Even if they're the king of heaven, I'll kill them." With that said, Lin Rei's lips curved upwards into a bloodthirsty and devilish smile. Lu Ying, who was sitting at the side, trembled and felt a chill run down his spine. Got it." With that, Lu Ying sat down cross-legged and started cultivating. Seeing his wife like this, Lin Rei sighed helplessly. He walked out of the room and headed to Chun Guang's room next door. Ever since he brought him back that day, he hadn't gone to see him. Pushing open the door, Lin Rei walked in and saw Chun Guang curled up on the bed, sleeping soundly. Seeing this, Lin Rei sat by the bed and didn't disturb him. Chapter 525. Just like that, the day passed. Linli didn't leave. He just sat by Chun Guang's side, quietly watching this 15 or 16-year-old child. He couldn't help but see his own shadow in Chun Guang. Thinking back, when he was 15 or 16 years old, he was being hunted down. Back then, his life was terrible, and he could die at any moment. Early in the morning, the warm morning sun shone on Lin Rei and onto Lin Rei's body. Immediately, he felt a sense of warmth. Another day. Looking at the morning sun outside, Lin Rei was a little confused. He was very confused about what to do next. He did not know what to do. Increase his cultivation? Because of his clone, his strength was floating. If it was impossible, then should he go out and train? He did not know where to go. With his current cultivation, he would be slaughtered no matter where he went. Kid, since you're so free, why don't you go to the 9th province when you have time? Maybe you'll be able to live a more fulfilling life there. Xiaolong sensed Linli's confusion, so he walked out of the system and came to Linli's side. He said in a casual tone, "Don't worry." The 9th province? Hearing the little dragon's suggestion, Lin Rei was stunned. His curiosity towards the 9th province rose again. "Yes, I will go to the 9th province, but not now. Right now I'm still too weak." At this point, the confusion in Lin Rei's eyes disappeared and was replaced with battle intent and determination. "Ha, that's the brat I know. Don't let your imagination run wild. Heaven's Wall City is about to hold that Tendo convention. There will definitely be many experts there. Why don't you take advantage of this time to rope in a few sects or use the talisman of life and death to control the sect masters of a few sects? This will definitely be beneficial to you in the future." Lin Rei had also thought about the little dragon's suggestion. The two of them were very close to each other. I know that. There's no need to panic. In the future, when the sect ascends, we'll have to find a place for them to stay. After all, I was the one who brought them out. If we don't care about them, then, at this point, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with reluctance. Now, everyone in the Jiutian Xuanzong sect, except for Jian Feng, who was recruited from the immortal world, and Jian Wudi, were his brothers who had gone through life and death with him. Yeah, I almost forgot. You can't lose your sect. Moreover, you will receive a new mission soon. At this point, the little dragon seemed to know what Lin Rei was going to ask next. He quickly said, "Don't ask me what the mission is. It's good enough that I can tell you that there is a mission. It's not convenient for me to reveal the details." Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei rolled his eyes. With a thought, he released Lin Wanyu and the other 4 disciples. "Master, what do you want us to do?" As soon as the 5 of them appeared, they quickly asked Lin Rei. Although they didn't know where they usually stayed, they knew that this place could only be used by their master, Lin Rei. "Hee, it seems that you didn't slack off." Looking at the 5 disciples in front of him, Lin Rei was delighted. The moment they appeared, Lin Rei's mind sense had already detected that their cultivation had increased by another realm. They had reached the late stage of the true God realm. Lin Rei was very happy. "Of course, don't you know whose disciple I am?" At this time, the most arrogant of the 5, Karen, spoke. "TSK, if I hadn't urged you, I'm afraid you would still be in the middle stage of the true God realm," a strange Yuan said without hesitation. "You two are really, Looking at them talking one after another, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly and said, "Okay, I didn't call you out to show off." As he spoke, Lin Li pointed at the little boy on the bed and said, "His name is Chen Guang. He's your master's 6th disciple, and your junior apprentice brother. Master doesn't have time these days, so I called you out because I want you to take him in and teach him. Remember, you can only teach him fire attribute techniques, because Master wants to train him into an alchemist. Do you understand?" Junior brother?" Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lin Wanyu and the other 4 were pleasantly surprised. Then, they came to the bed and looked at each other with excitement on their faces. "Yes, we understand. Master, don't worry. Leave junior brother to me. I will definitely make him. Don't." Hearing his eldest disciple Lin Wanyu's words, Lin Li hurriedly stopped her. He didn't want another little ancestor. She was enough. "Master." Looking at Lin Rei's appearance, Lin Wanyu's face turned red and she called out pitifully. All right. You guys take turns to teach him every day, but you can't neglect your own cultivation. When I have time, I'll suddenly check on you. Also, I'll teach you the dragon subduing step and other spells. After that, I'll teach you guys even more advanced spells. Do you understand?" Master, we love you so much." They had wanted new spells for a long time, but they didn't have time to ask. Now, their master asked first. "Okay, you guys take him in first. Remember, don't go near the array. That is not a place for people of your level to stay." After saying that, Lin Rei's divine sense wrapped around them and Chen Guang, who was sleeping soundly on his bed. Then, with a thought, everyone disappeared and went into the system. Phew! Finally solved a problem. Seeing that the matter had been resolved, Lin Li had originally wanted to personally impart the special alchemy technique. However, because of the upcoming Heavenly Tao Conference, Lin Li could only leave the matter of imparting to his disciples. "You little rascal, you're quite convenient." The little dragon, who had been watching this scene, teased him. "Go away, what do you know?" He rolled his eyes at the little dragon. Then, Lin Rei pushed open the door and walked out. As for the little dragon, the moment Lin Rei left the room, it went into the system. At the same time, the moment Lin Rei pushed open the door, Lu Ying appeared in the room next door. The moment he saw his wife, Lin Ray raised his voice and called out to her. However, what made Lin Ray feel deflated was that even after he shouted and was sure that she heard him, she didn't turn her head and walked straight to the restaurant in front. Lin Ray smiled awkwardly and quickened his pace to chase after Lu Ying. At this moment, in the other courtyard, Lin Ray and Lin Tian both walked out after hearing Lin Ray's shout. When they saw Lin Ray walking towards the restaurant in front, the two of them followed closely behind. Hey Ying, that's enough. How long has it been? Didn't I just take one look at her? Do you have to be like this? Lin Ray finally caught up with Lu Ying and spoke to him in an aggrieved tone. His eyes were full of grievances. Not even one look. Lin Ray's face instantly darkened and he sighed in his heart. If I knew this would happen, I would have blindfolded my eyes back then. Young master, Lei Ji. Just as Lin Ray was about to continue begging for mercy, two voices were heard. Instantly, Lin Ray subconsciously straightened his back and didn't bow and scrape like before. His eyes were full of sternness and he didn't look as aggrieved as before. The two of you are. Seeing Lin Tian and Lu Ying approach, Lin Ray couldn't help but ask. Oh, we're here to look for you. We heard you shouting just now, so we came out. Originally, we were going to wait for you to call us, but as you know, we haven't eaten in a long time. Although we've reached the stage where we don't eat or drink, we can't control the cravings in our stomach. At this moment, the man spoke up embarrassedly. As he spoke, the man's hand subconsciously touched his stomach. Ha! Seeing this, Lin Ray couldn't help but chuckle and said, All right, since that's the case, let's go. Anyway, I don't have much to do these few days, so I'll accompany you to eat for a few days. With that, Lin Ray led the two men into the restaurant and found an empty place near the window to sit down. As for Lu Ying, after seeing the two men arrive, her tone became much better. Since Lin Ray had done this, she naturally followed him closely. Blood 15, find a place to sit down too. You've worked hard these past few days. You should rest first. I'll get the others to protect you in secret. Lin Ray had long treated Blood 15 and the others as his brothers, so the moment he finished speaking, he communicated with the 20 Shura clansmen in the training field through the system. He told them to pick a few people who had already broken through to the godly emperor level. The 10 godly kings appeared in stealth and hid in the dark. This happened in an instant. At first, Blood 15 and the others didn't want to, but when they saw that the others had already broken through to the godly emperor level, they relaxed. However, they didn't let down their guard and sat down. At this moment, 16 Shura clansmen were hiding in the dark. This time, when they entered the system, Lin Ray discovered that the Shura clansmen had all broken through to the godly emperor level. Originally, there were 20 Shura clansmen who didn't have a godly emperor level, but when Lin Ray saw them, 6 of them had already broken through to the godly emperor level. This made Lin Ray very happy. Waiter! After finishing all of this, Lin Li cleared his throat. Like a boorish man, with one leg propped up on the stool and the other trembling, he called out to the waiter in the restaurant. Hey, you're here. Soon, a waiter came in front of Lin Ray and asked respectfully with a smile, What would you like to order? Our restaurant also has braised meatballs, stir-fried fei, and, hearing the names of the dishes, Lin Ray's saliva almost flowed out of his mouth. Fortunately, Lin Ray noticed in time. All right, that's enough. Bring out all your signature dishes. Also, bring out 8 jugs of your best wine. We'll talk about the rest when we think of something. Chapter 526. Alright, please wait for a moment. I'll rush your dishes right away. The waiter instantly beamed with joy when he heard Lin Ray's order. To him, the more Lin Ray ordered, the more he earned. Thus, how could he not be happy with a rich man like Lin Ray? Then, the waiter turned around and disappeared from everyone's sight, entering the kitchen in a flash. At this moment, Lin Ray was sitting at a large table that could seat 7 to 8 people. Next to him were Blood 15 and the other members of the Azura clan. At this moment, Linley was still doing the same thing as before. He instantly used the system to check the information of the people coming and going. Everyone, regardless of whether they were gods or saints, was useless in front of the system. All concealment was non-existent. Just as Lin Ray was checking on the people outside, a familiar thing in his mind vibrated. The clone is nearby? That's right, the familiar thing in Lin Ray's mind was really a strand of the system's clone's primordial spirit. Lin Ray also had a strand of primordial spirit in the system's mind so that he could easily sense the other party. Just now, that strand of primordial spirit moved, which meant that the clone was nearby. With a thought, he started to transmit his location to that strand of primordial spirit. Here, 3 miles to the east. Dishur Tian, who was walking on the street, suddenly heard a sentence in his mind. "Come quickly, I'm waiting for you." Dishur Tian revealed a trace of a smile. Then, his figure became illusory and he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already at the restaurant Lin Ray was at. He took off his mask and the murderous aura on his body was instantly concealed. Then, he walked into the restaurant like a normal person, found Lin Ray and sat down. At this moment, the moment he saw someone sit down, the young man looked over angrily. However, when he saw the person's face, he stood rooted to the ground in a daze. It wasn't just the boys. Lin Tian and Lu Ying were also like the boys as they stood rooted to the ground in a daze. At this moment, Sakura, who saw this scene, smiled and said, "You don't have to be so surprised. My name is Sakura. As for the details, let me tell you." As he said that, the waiter just happened to serve the wine. Then, without saying a word, Sakura directly grabbed a jar of wine and started to gulp it down. Alright, I'll talk to you about this in the future. All you need to know is that I am him, and he is me. With that said, Lin Ray couldn't help but reach out and pat Sakura's shoulder as he asked with a smile, "How is it? Is that heavenly kill alright? Did they make things difficult for you?" Alas. Hearing the question of the original body, Sakura sighed and said, no, but they want me to be their holy son. They also want me to help them subdue the other 7 sects and merge them into one. After that, they will successfully squeeze into the top forces. Oh. Hearing Sakura's words, Lin Ray was slightly surprised but quickly returned to his senses. What are you thinking? Lin Ray didn't want to interfere too much with his clone. After all, he had his own consciousness and Lin Ray didn't want him to become his tool or puppet. I don't know. I came out to gain experience and requested to give them an answer 100 years later. Looking at his clone, Lin Ray said, "Remember, your conscience is the most important. As long as you want to do it, then do it. There's nothing to hesitate about. You're not fighting alone. You still have me, and you still have the 9th Heaven Xuanzong Sect, understand?" With that, Lin Ray took a big gulp of wine and burped. His face was slightly rosy. At this moment, hearing Lin Ray's words, the clone's originally confused expression slowly became clearer. I got it." With that, the two of them took a sip of wine. Lu Ying and the other two also looked at this scene in confusion. They didn't know what was going on and could only drink as well. "Young master, someone is secretly investigating. He's a mid-stage god emperor. What should we do? Should we kill him or—" At this moment, Blood 15's voice sounded. Instantly, Lin Ray put the wine jar to his mouth and said, "Kill him to prevent future trouble, no matter who he is. As long as he dares to stare at me, kill him." Whoosh. Hearing Lin Ray's order, Blood 15 and the other 3 who were sitting at the side immediately moved. Soon, Blood 15 came back with a faint smell of blood on his body. Lin Ray didn't say much about this. At this moment, the dishes were served. The waiter came to Lin Ray enthusiastically. When he saw that there were 2 Lin Rays, the waiter automatically thought that they were twins. "Ladies and gentlemen, your dishes are being prepared. Please wait for a moment." With that, the waiter put down the dishes on his phone and prepared to leave. At this moment, Lin Ray said, "Put the dishes I ordered on the table next to mine." Okay. I'll do it now." Hearing Lin Ray's words, the waiter looked in Blood 15's direction and walked to the back. Perhaps it was because it was already noon, but the seats were already full, and there were still people coming in one after another. At this moment, a man and a woman walked into the restaurant. Seeing that there were no empty seats, the woman wearing a black veil said, "Little brother, why don't we leave? This place is full." The woman's voice was beautiful and moving. Needless to say, her figure was even more beautiful. However, because she was covered in a large black robe, her appearance and figure couldn't be seen clearly. At that moment, the man following the black-clothed woman had an embarrassed expression when he heard his sister's words. He said without any resentment, "Sister, we've already gone to so many places. You also know that we can't. The Heavenly Tao Conference is imminent and all the major powers have come. Even if we go again, we'll still end up with nowhere to go." As he spoke, the black-clothed man began to scan the interior of the store. At this moment, his gaze fell upon Linley and the others. Then, he said with a joyful expression, "I'm not leaving. Look over there by the window. He still has an empty seat. Let's talk to him about sharing a table." With that, the man didn't wait for the woman to speak and walked toward Lin Ray. Sigh. At this moment, seeing that her little brother was already walking toward that place, she had no choice but to follow. "Brother, do you mind sharing a table?" At this moment, Lin Tian, who was chatting happily with his clone, was interrupted by a voice. Puzzled, Linley turned his head to look, only to see a handsome young man appear in front of him, as well as a woman wearing a black veil. Perhaps because they were very close, Linley could clearly smell the fragrance emanating from the woman's body. For a moment, Lin Ray was stunned. This body fragrance made Lin Ray feel an indescribable feeling all over his body. Lu Ying, who was sitting next to him, snorted coldly after sensing that Lin Ray's body was as thick as his. Okay, you guys take a seat." After realizing that he had lost his composure, Lin Ray hurriedly pointed to the seats next to him for them to sit down. At this moment, Blood 15's voice sounded in his mind, "Young master, these two people are not simple. They're both mid-stage godly emperors. Also, judging by their cultivation technique, it's not simple. You have to be careful." "HM?" Hearing Blood 15's words, Lin Ray couldn't help but be startled. He looked warily at the two people opposite him, his heart filled with shock. They looked about the same age as him, but what Lin Ray didn't expect was that they were already godly emperors. "Okay, I know. Don't worry, eat in peace." Lin Ray believed that as long as he didn't provoke these people, they wouldn't act recklessly. "Wow, this is so delicious. Sister, try it." At this moment, the young man's voice sounded. Immediately, Lin Ray turned his head and saw that the young man was still picking up his chopsticks and eating. Sigh. The black-clothed woman next to him had a helpless look on her face, as she said to Linley and the others, I'm sorry. My little brother has been busy ever since he was young. He's like a child and will never grow up. But don't worry. Just treat this meal as an apology for our recklessness." With that, the woman in black nodded to Lin Ray and the others. Her embarrassment could be heard. "Oh sister, why are you always like this? How old am I?" After hearing his sister's words, the young man put down his chopsticks and introduced himself to Lin Ray and the others. "Hello, I'm Liao Jun. This is my sister, Liao Yuning." With that, the young man continued to eat. At this moment, after hearing the young man's introduction, Lin Ray also said politely, "Hello, I'm Lin Ray, a servant disciple of the immortal sect. This is my wife, Lu Ying. Beside her are my brothers, Lin Tian. My male brother is Di Shi Tian." After the introductions, everyone knew each other. They didn't hold back and the dishes were served one by one. Lin Ray and the others also began to eat. After learning that Lin Rei was a servant disciple of the immortal sect, Liao Yuning's eyes were filled with vigilance. It wasn't just Liao Yuning. Even Blood 15 was wary of the Liao siblings, afraid that they would do something inappropriate to Lin Rei. The meal was almost finished under everyone's vigilance. As for Linley, after eating for a while, he didn't eat anymore. Instead, he drank with Sakura and others. Liao Jun, who was on the side, saw Linley and others drinking and insisted on joining them. In the end, there was no other way. The original wine jar was already empty and Liao Jun was already drunk at this moment. Hee, Brother Lin, let me tell you. You're one of my few friends. Although we just met today, I, Liao Jun, have decided that you're my friend. I'm sorry, my brother. At this moment, Liao Yuning hurriedly explained when she saw her brother being so embarrassed. It's fine. Actually, Lin Rei only felt that Liao Jun was simple and not that complicated. Chapter 527. When they were almost done eating, Lin Rei signaled to the young man next to him. He had followed Lin Rei for a long time, so of course, he knew what Lin Rei meant. Then, the young man stood up and walked towards the counter. When Liao Yuning saw the young man going to pay, she quickly stood up and prepared to pay for the meal, but was stopped by Lin Rei. Miss Liao, don't. After all, there are so many dishes and we ate a lot. Then, the young man took out the money. Seeing this, Liao Yuning struggled for a while and nodded embarrassedly. How much for 2 tables? At this moment, the young man took out a few black gold coins and said to the shop owner. In his opinion, a few gold coins were enough for such a small amount. Okay, I'll calculate it for you now. At this moment, the shop owner saw the young man coming to pay and immediately smiled. Then, he began to calculate the bill. After a while, the shop owner finished calculating and said to the young man, a total of 106,888 gold coins. 106,000. What? 106,888. The young man didn't pay much attention at first and didn't react when he heard the number. But the moment he reacted, the young man clicked his tongue. More than 106,000 gold coins. Damn this. Is this a meal or gold? Although he didn't care about this small amount of money now, he still cared about this much money. After all, this was just a meal. This customer, you must be joking. You've eaten all the famous dishes in our restaurant. Moreover, the young master said to serve all the specialties in the restaurant. If you don't believe me, this is the bill. You can take a look. Then, the shop owner took out a piece of paper. On it, there were densely packed dishes and 18 jars of wine that he ordered. Seeing this, the young man didn't say anything. He looked at the black gold coins in his hand and smiled bitterly. Then, he took out more than 1,000 black gold coins from his ring and handed it to the shop owner. He said with a pained expression, "This is the cost of the meal and our room. We have reserved these 2 courtyards for a long time." After saying that, the young man directly left. The shop owner who collected the money was also very happy. This was the first time in their shop that they had spent so much money. Even if a famous family came to eat here, they wouldn't be like this. The young man returned to the table and sat down. The wry smile on his face disappeared. Seeing the young man come back, Lin Rei glanced at him and found that something was wrong with the young man, but he didn't ask immediately. Instead, he said to Liao Yuning and Liao Jun, "The green hills do not change, and the clear waters flow forever. We still have matters to attend to. Brother Liao Jun, Miss Liao, let's take our leave." As he spoke, Lin Rei stood up. At the same time, Lin Rei transmitted his voice to Blood 15, who was beside him. "You guys continue eating. Don't follow me. It'll be bad if you're discovered by others." With that, Lin Rei nodded at the Liao siblings again. Then, he left the place and walked toward his residence. Seeing Lin Rei's moving figure disappear, Liao Yuning looked at Lin Rei curiously. She couldn't put her finger on it, but she felt that something was wrong. But she didn't think too much about strangers. Looking at her brother who was dead drunk on the table, Liao Yuning shook her head helplessly. Her eyes were filled with heartache. Let's go. If father finds out about this, I'm afraid I'll have to go into seclusion at the Cliff of Reflection again. With that, Liao Yuning gently patted her brother, Liao Jun, but it didn't have much effect. Liao Jun was still as drunk as before. There was no sign of him waking up at all. Seeing this, Liao Yuning frowned and said coldly, "Father is here." Father? Father, where is he?" Hearing Liao Yuning's words, Liao Jun, who was drunk and unconscious on the table, stood up the next moment and looked around energetically. Ha ha ha! At this moment, Liao Yuning saw her brother's appearance and immediately laughed out loud. "Oh, sister, can you not scare me with father? It's not like you don't know how terrifying father is." After knowing that he was deceived, Liao Jun quickly turned around and said to his sister, Liao Yuning, with an unhappy look. However, at this moment, Liao Jun suddenly found that Lin Rei and the others who were chatting happily with him before were gone. Immediately, Liao Jun asked anxiously, "Sister, where is Lin Rei who was chatting with me? Where did he go?" As soon as he said this, Liao Yuning directly said to him with a dark face, You still have the nerve to say that. We were going to pay the bill. It's because of your recklessness, but we didn't expect them to take the bill." Speaking of this, Liao Yuning stretched out one hand. She directly grabbed Liao Jun's collar and walked out of the door. Just as they were about to leave, Liao Jun directly broke free from Liao Yuning's grip, came to the counter in an instant, and asked the restaurant owner, "Boss, where are the people who were eating with me just now?" "Liao Jun, what do you want to do?" Seeing that her brother broke free to find the strangers who were eating with him just now, Liao Yuning suddenly flew into a rage. Just as she was about to step forward and take action, she suddenly found that she seemed to be targeted. Immediately, her anger subsided a little. She instantly released her divine sense and began to explore the surroundings. She wanted to see who was monitoring them. "Oh, are you talking about the young master who spent more than 100,000 yuan on a meal?" At this moment, the restaurant owner quickly asked, "More than 100,000 yuan?" Hearing the restaurant owner's words, Liao Jun's eyes flickered, and then he said, "Yes, it's them. Where are they now? How can I find them?" Hearing Liao Jun's words, the restaurant owner nodded and said, "He is staying in our restaurant, but we can't reveal the guest's information." Just as the shop owner was about to hide the information of Linley and the others, he saw a bag fall on the table. Because he used too much force, the contents of the bag spilled out. It was none other than his favorite item, black gold coins. Looking at the amount, the shop owner immediately replied with a smile, "All right, I'll take it. They are at the back, and the two courtyards are connected, facing the door. You can see them when you enter the back." With that, the restaurant owner was about to reach for the bag full of black gold, but at this moment, Liao Jun's voice sounded again. "Okay, open a courtyard for me here. Open it for me for as long as they stay." With that, Liao Jun subconsciously glanced at his sister, Liao Yuning, on the side, hoping that she would agree. However, when he saw his sister's expression, a bad feeling suddenly surged in his heart. He still knew his sister's temper, but now Liao Yuning had a solemn expression, and he also felt the power of divine sense from his sister. In an instant, he reacted and instantly released his divine sense to investigate every movement in the surroundings. "Humph, you brat, you only know how to mess around once you're outside. Do you know that if the elders who came with us find out that you're so extravagant and wasteful outside, they'll definitely come after you? Moreover, the sect has already booked a room elsewhere. How are you going to explain this to the elders now? If the elders report this matter to father, have you thought about the consequences?" At this moment, after seeing her brother's vigilance, Liao Yuning's face was filled with joy, and then she transmitted her voice to him. TSK, go ahead and say it. In any case, I don't care about this 1 or 2 times. I have a feeling that those people from earlier will be able to help me and our falling star pavilion one day. Thus, I will be willful this time around. Furthermore, I get along very well with them. They are not like those people who only knew how to curry favor with those in power and wanted to use my status to climb up the rank. They give me a very comfortable feeling. Hearing her brother's words, Liao Yuning nodded. Her eyes were filled with heartache as she looked at Liao Jun and promised, "Okay, since you have decided, I will not stop you. However, I must be where you are. If you don't agree with this, then give up your idea as soon as possible and go back with me obediently." Liao Jun had long guessed what his sister Liao Yuning was going to say. He said with a smile, "I knew you were going to say this. I have already booked a courtyard and 2 rooms." With that, Liao Jun, who didn't find anyone around, instantly withdrew his divine sense. "Sister, there's no need to investigate. The other party clearly has no hostility towards us. If there really is, then I will definitely be able to find out." With that, Liao Jun turned around and took the key that the restaurant owner had already prepared. He then pulled his sister Liao Yuning's hand and walked towards the back. The person leading the way was the waiter who had served them the dishes earlier. The moment they left the restaurant, Demon Blood 15 and the other 14 people who had been left behind by Lin Ray instantly stood up and walked towards the back of the restaurant. The moment they walked out of the restaurant and entered the back of the restaurant, their bodies were completely hidden in the air. They returned to Lin Ray's courtyard like ghosts. At this moment, Lin Ray, who had already returned to his room, looked at the young man and asked, "What's wrong? You don't look too good just now." The young man sitting on the chair heard Lin Ray's question and smiled bitterly. "It's nothing. It's just that I spent over 1,000 black gold for a meal, so I feel a bit of heartache." Ha ha ha! When he heard that the young man was feeling bad because he had spent too much money, Lin Ray couldn't help but burst out laughing. However, when he thought about it, money didn't come easily. A meal that cost over 1,000 black gold would probably take more than 10 lifetimes to spend it all. Alright, let's forget about this matter. Just be more careful in the future. However, young man, in any case, you used to own a trading company. I didn't expect you to be so stingy with money. To be honest, he really didn't expect this. He originally thought that the young man who had owned a trading company would be the kind of person who spent money like water. He didn't expect him to feel bad because of 1,000 black gold. Dong dong dong. Chapter 528. At that moment, just as Lin Ray was speaking, there was a knock on the door. Lin Ray looked at the door in confusion. At that moment, Lin Tian walked to the door and opened it to let the person who knocked come in. The person who came in was Blood 15, who had been eating in the restaurant. Lin Ray was instantly confused. Seeing his anxious expression, he knew something had happened. "What is it?" Replying to young master, "The siblings sitting at the same table as you didn't leave. And from the looks of it, that man seems to be planning to stay. They've already booked a room here, and it's not too far from where you're staying." "What?" Hearing Blood 15's report, Lin Ray's heart skipped a beat. He felt like he was being pestered. After a moment of silence, Lin Ray finally nodded and said, "Alright 15, I understand. It's going to be a critical period, so you guys will protect me from the shadows like they do. Remember, no matter who it is, as long as they have the intention to kill, don't be merciful and just kill them. Got it?" At that moment, as Lin Ray was talking to Blood 15, a sharp and bloodthirsty light flashed across his eyes. One could feel the boundless killing intent coming from Lin Ray. Yes, Blood 15 never had any objections to Lin Ray's orders. After hearing Lin Ray's orders, he disappeared from the room. At that moment, Lin Ray's face darkened. He really couldn't understand why those 2 god emperors were pestering him when he didn't even know them. "What's wrong?" Are those two people very troublesome? Do you want me to kill them? At that moment, Lu Ying's voice rang out. Instantly, the temperature in the room dropped. Lin Tian's brother trembled as a gust of cold wind blew behind him. Haha, Lin Rei said when he heard his wife's words, no need. Also, do you really think you can kill a mid-stage God Emperor just because you want to? What? Middle Divine Emperor? Linley's words astonished everyone. They had been eating with them, talking and laughing with them, but they were all mid-godly emperors. Their hearts were filled with dread. What a joke, Linley said. Yes, 15 told me about it. They are all divine emperors. They are either from sects or empires. Anyway, be careful in the future. Don't expose your background and strength before you figure out whether they are friends or foes. Do you understand? Alright, got it. Looking at them, Lin Rei didn't say anything. Instead, he gestured to his clone and brought him away. Nobody objected. In the end, Lin Tian and Lu Ying returned to their residence. After what happened just now, Lu Ying started to work hard to cultivate. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't increase his cultivation because he was bound to Lin Rei. Only when Lin Rei increased his cultivation would she increase her cultivation. Outside the door, Lin Rei and Di Tian were alone. Lin Rei said, "Someone was following you just now." "I've already dealt with him. Do you know who he is?" "What?" Di Tian stared at Lin Rei in disbelief. He knew that the Assassins' organization wanted to see how strong the people they sent were. Looking at Sakura, Linley laughed and explained, "Alright, you don't have to be like this. Originally, I was planning to go look for you and then send a few people to protect you. It just so happens that you came." At this point, Linley waved his hand in the air. Instantly, 30 Azura clansmen who had been hiding in the air appeared and surrounded them. Looking at the surrounding experts who were emitting powerful auras, Indra was shocked. "As you can see, there are 10 godly emperors here. Pick out 2 of them and bring them along. Pick out 5 godly emperors and let them ensure your safety. Of course, they will watch from the side when you're training. They will only help when you're in danger. Normally, they will only appear around you." Di Tian's eyes were filled with excitement when he heard this. At the same time, he decided that the Assassins' organization would only accept this mission for him. "Alright, I understand." Then, Di Tian pointed at 7 Azura clansmen and planned to leave. "Alright, you can go. Remember, look for me if you need anything. You can also get them to send a message." As he spoke, Linley waved his hand towards his clone, bidding him farewell. The two of them separated. They didn't know when they would be able to meet again. "Alright, you guys can go." After the clone completely disappeared, Linley looked at the remaining people and spoke to them. "Yes, we'll take our leave." Hearing Lin Rei's order, the remaining 23 Azura clansmen disappeared and retreated into the sky. Lin Rei was stunned when he saw them leave. His eyes were empty and he didn't know what to do. Just like that, Lin Rei was stunned for a long time. Finally, he came back to his senses. "Hee, what's wrong with me?" Sensing his own condition, Linley murmured to himself. And then, with a chuckle, he prepared to leave. Whoosh! At this moment, there was a sound of something breaking through the air. Lin Rei paused and stretched out his hand. Spiritual chi rushed out of his hand and wrapped around the thing that was rushing towards him. Lin Rei ignored the thing that was wrapped in spiritual chi. Suddenly, he looked at the place where the thing was thrown from and a murderous aura burst out of his body. "Sneaky thing, come out!" In an instant, the dry water sword that he just bought from the auction at the Carefree Pavilion appeared in his hand. A majestic sword chi slashed towards that place. Bang! A loud sound was heard. Lin Rei could feel that the person who came from that place did not have any hostility towards him. Therefore, he did not continue to attack. However, he was still on his guard. Tar, his attack was stopped. Then, there was the sound of footstep. Then, a familiar figure appeared. Looking at her, wasn't she Liao Yuning, the woman in black who ate with him at the same table? Seeing her shocked expression, Lin Rei looked up at the thing wrapped in the quilt. Suddenly Lin Rei was stunned. A black gold coin fell out. Lin Rei was embarrassed. Then, he said embarrassedly, I said you don't have to give it to me. You'd better take it back. In order to resolve the awkwardness, Lin Rei could only change the topic as soon as possible. At this moment, Liao Yuning walked up to Lin Rei and said coldly, "You'd better take it back. Our Falling Star Pavilion doesn't need your money." What? Falling Star Pavilion? At this moment Lin Rei was shocked. He had just learned about the existence of the demon sect. He did not expect to see someone from the Falling Star Pavilion. No, the sect leader of the Falling Star Pavilion is Liao Bufan. He has a son and a daughter who are both at the Divine Emperor realm. Then, hearing Liao Yuning say that she was a disciple of the Falling Star Pavilion, Su Ke thought of the information about the demon sect that he had learned before. It was very likely that this woman was Liao Bufan's daughter. In this regard, Lin Rei became more vigilant. He held the Qian water sword tightly in his hand. Lin Rei turned the chaos scripture in his body to the extreme. The spiritual qi was on standby at any time. Haha, you don't have to be on guard against me. I just want to say that although my brother is an expert at the Divine Emperor realm, he has been cultivating in the sect all year round. He has very few opportunities to enter the secular world and has very few friends. I don't want him to be cheated. Saying this, Liao Yuning stared at Lin Rei as if she wanted to see through him. Ha ha! Hearing Liao Yuning's words, Lin Rei said disdainfully, "You don't have to worry. Your brother doesn't have anything that is worth cheating. So what if he is the young master of the Falling Star Pavilion? I, Lin Rei, am not going to covet the things of the Falling Star Pavilion." Lin Rei was not lying. He was a person who was proficient in alchemy, formations, and refining weapons. Why would he spy on a sect? Liao Yuning's face sank when she heard Linli's words. She was clearly displeased. Although the Falling Star Pavilion was a demonic Dao sect, Linli seemed to be implying that the Falling Star Pavilion wasn't worth him taking action against. "I don't care if you are a servant disciple of the Holy Sect or not. I just want to protect my brother. I hope you can understand." Saying this, Liao Yuning ignored Lin Rei and was about to leave. At this moment, a voice that gave Lin Rei a headache was heard. "Brother Lin Rei, so you're here?" Hearing this voice, Liao Yuning, who was about to leave, immediately turned around and looked at her brother with displeasure. "Why are you here? Didn't I say I would help you find him? TCH, don't think I didn't hear what you said to Lin Rei." Liao Jun was even more displeased when he saw his sister, Liao Yuning. Then, he eagerly came to Lin Rei's side and hooked his arm around Lin Rei's shoulder. With a simple smile, he said, "Lin Rei, don't listen to my sister's nonsense. Although we are a demon sect, we have never killed innocent people." So Lin Rei's head was about to explode when he saw the sister and brother each giving a different explanation. However, Lin Rei had an inexplicable good impression of Liao Jun. Hearing his words, Lin Rei hurriedly said, "Hee, it's fine. So what if you're a demon sect? Who hasn't killed before? So what if you're a righteous sect? Don't tell me they don't kill? Moreover, I can't even remember the number of people who have died in my hand." Saying this, Lin Rei's tongue unconsciously licked his lip. He looked extremely bloodthirsty and devilish. When the Liao family's sister and brother saw this scene, their bodies trembled. At this moment, they felt that they weren't part of the demon sect. Instead, this servant disciple of the holy sect seemed to be part of the demon sect from head to toe. Especially when he talked about killing people, that kind of soul-shaking feeling was something they had never experienced before. Okay, I'll stop talking. I still have things to do, so I'll be leaving first." Saying this, Lin Rei turned and walked towards his room. Chapter 529. After Lin Rei left, only the Liao siblings were left. They were still standing there in a daze. They only woke up after a long time had passed since Lin Rei had left. The feeling from before was still very obvious. Humph, bastard! The first thing Liao Yuning did after waking up was to shout at the place where Lin Rei had left. Then, she reached out and dragged her brother to her room. Time passed by slowly. More than a month had passed since the auction. During this month, Lin Rei was living a life worse than death. Every day, he wanted to go to a place where no one could find him. During this month, after Liao Jun found out where Lin Rei lived, the days of drinking began. Every day when you opened your eyes you would see Liao Jun in front of your bed, looking at you with innocent eyes. Then, he would pester you and drag you to the restaurant in front to drink. Basically, it was like this every day. Only Lin Rei could escape by hiding in the system. Lin Rei was helpless about this. What made Lin Rei feel the most aggrieved was that every time Liao Jun returned home drunk, Liao Yuning would come to Lin Rei. It was obvious that it was because of her brother who got drunk every day. Lin Rei explained this many times, but in the end, he was still ignored by Liao Yuning. In the end, it was all done by Lin Rei. At first, Lin Rei still tried to explain. Later, Lin Rei was too lazy to explain. He didn't care what she thought. During this month, the Heaven's Wall City became lively. All the major continents in the realm of the gods, except for the most mysterious ninth continent, sent people over. Not for anything else, but to have a good result in the Tendo competition. The Tendo competition also had another name, which was the ranking battle of the sects. As long as your sect's #1 disciple could achieve a good result in this battle, then even if your sect was a third-rate sect, it would still be an opportunity to promote your sect. For this opportunity, many people wouldn't be able to obtain it even if they were forced to kowtow. All kinds of experts had come. In the past few days, Lin Rei had been drinking with Liao Jun during the day, and at night, he would enter alone to consolidate his cultivation. Originally, his foundation was a little shaky because of the matter with his clone. However, in the past 2 months, Lin Rei had been refining and cultivating at the same time, and his shaky cultivation had improved a lot. As the sun rose, the sunlight from outside shone into the room. Perhaps it was because the light from outside was too dazzling, causing the sleeping Lin Rei to slowly wake up. Lin Rei opened his eyes and turned to look outside. When he saw that the sky was already bright, Lin Rei suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Then, with a thought, he wanted to enter the system to hide. However, just as Lin Rei thought about it, a loud bang came from behind the door. The door was ruthlessly kicked to pieces by someone. Liao Jun was looking at Lin Rei, who was lying on the bed and about to get up, with a smile on his face. He said in a clear voice, "Brother Lin Rei, what's wrong? You knew that I was coming, so you were going to welcome me." Rumble. At this moment, Lin Rei's brain seemed to have been struck by lightning. He stopped getting up and stared blankly in front of him. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Damn, how could I forget? Regret. At this moment, Lin Rei's heart was filled with endless regret. Last night, he said that he would wake up earlier today and come to see him more often. However, it seemed that he couldn't do it now. Then, Lin Rei's mind spun rapidly, and a brilliant idea came to his mind. Then, a painful cry came out of Lin Rei's mouth. His body, which had already gotten up, instantly fell back onto the bed with a painful cry. With a painful expression, coupled with the screams, the cold sweat from his spirit force, and his godlike eyes, he trembled as he looked at Liao Jun at the door. "I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't go today. I don't know what happened, but I seem to have caught a cold yesterday. My head hurts a bit, and it's quite uncomfortable to be alone. Oh right, my leg hurts a lot too." At this moment, Lin Rei had spilled everything. In order to stop drinking, he could only make himself sound so miserable. However, because of his fear of drinking with Liao Jun, he forgot that cultivators wouldn't get sick, let alone gods. "Ah, you're sick?" Upon hearing Linley's words, the originally happy Liao Jun walked over to Linley's bed with a worried look on his face. A stream of black spiritual energy instantly entered Linley's body and began to examine him. Liao Jun's actions gave Lin Rei a headache. He hadn't expected Liao Jun to be so worried and even want to examine his body. In response, Lin Rei could only endure the pain. He found a spirit meridian that wasn't particularly important and used his cultivation. In the next moment, that undamaged spirit meridian was instantly broken by Lin Rei. This kind of pain was nothing to Lin Rei. After all, he had previously refined his internal organs and spirit meridian. The moment Lin Rei broke his meridian, Liao Jun's spirit force arrived. When he sensed the broken meridian, Liao Jun frowned. His face was full of seriousness. Perhaps Lin Rei didn't know that, in their worldview, a broken meridian was a very troublesome matter. However, in Lin Rei's worldview, it was a piece of cake. "Brother Lin Rei, there is a broken meridian in your body. However, don't worry. I will go and find my sister." Back then, she broke her own meridian and reconnected it. Perhaps she will have a way. Hearing this, Lin Rei frowned. He wanted to stop Liao Jun, but it was too late. Liao Jun's figure had completely disappeared from the room. F***ck, this guy, although he was complaining, Lin Rei didn't regret it. He would rather suffer than go out and drink with Liao Jun. It wasn't for anything else, but for the fact that he had been drunk every day for a month. After a while, Liao Jun, who had gone out to ask for help, returned with Liao Yuning. Before she could understand Lin Rei's words, Liao Yuning directly drove to Lin Rei's side and injected her spirit force into his body. She then found the place Liao Jun had told her about. After all, she was still his sister. When Liao Yuning came to the broken meridian, she could feel that the meridian wasn't broken by herself. In response, Liao Yuning glanced at Lin Rei suspiciously, as if she wanted to see through everything. To be honest, Lin Rei felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by such a beautiful woman. Lin Rei immediately avoided Liao Yuning's gaze and said, "Hey, are you done? Why don't you leave first? I will deal with this matter." "No." Before Lin Rei could finish speaking, Liao Jun interrupted him. "How can this be? How are you going to deal with it? Moreover, my sister has reconnected your meridian before. Therefore, to be on the safe side, let my sister treat you. Don't worry, my sister told me that your meridian won't hinder drinking, so..." Hearing this, Lin Rei frowned and had a bad premonition. He glanced at Liao Yuning with hidden bitterness before looking at Liao Jun. In the room, Liao Yuning took out something from her ring. Lin Rei was stunned on the spot and forgot that he was pretending to be sick. He instantly jumped up from the bed and scolded Liao Jun directly. "Liao Jun, do you still have any humanity? I'm already in this state and you still want me to drink. What do you want to do?" But the next moment, Lin Rei felt his current state. Then the spiritual energy in Lin Rei's body surged and a feeling of weakness spread to his whole body. Suddenly, Lin Rei fell heavily on the bed and said in a weak voice, I really can't drink. Look at me, I'm so sick." At this moment, Lin Rei was really scared. He used to like to have a drink, but now, he drank with Liao Jun every day. It was not a drink, it was drinking his life. Moreover, at this moment, Liao Jun took out not 2 or 3 jars, but a whole room full of wine. It would be strange if he didn't get drunk after drinking it. Liao Yuning had basically guessed Lin Rei's conspiracy from his actions just now. She chuckled and said with a smile, "Okay, little brother, you stay here with Lin Rei. I'll go to the Alchemy Guild to see if they have the kind of medicine that can heal meridians." As she spoke, Liao Yuning smiled at Linley, then quickly disappeared from the room. Looking in the direction Liao Yuning left, Lin Rei hated her so much that he had the impulse to bite her with his teeth. Alas! Brother Linley, you're in luck. You don't know, but our falling star pavilion is viewed by you righteous path as an evil path. Thus, generally, the Alchemy Guild won't buy medicinal pills from us. I hope there won't be any accidents this time. At this moment, Liao Jun looked out of the window with a worried expression. His eyes were full of nervousness. Looking at his appearance, he no longer had the desire to drink. Lin Rei lay on the bed and began to pretend to be asleep. But in the instant that Linley closed his eyes, a strand of divine sense entered Blood 15's mind. Go, follow Liao Yuning. If she's in danger, help her. Don't let her get hurt. Yes, I understand. How many people should we bring? Blood 15 had already guessed Lin Rei's decision, so he asked the moment Lin Rei finished speaking. Lin Rei was silent for a moment before answering. All of them. I still don't know what the Heaven's Wall City's Alchemy Guild is like, let alone how strong they are. Even if I want you to go, I don't want you to be in any danger, so, yes, I understand. Blood 15 and the others felt warmth in their hearts when they heard Lin Rei's words. They then disappeared into the void and shot toward the Heaven's Wall City's Alchemy Guild. After doing all this, Lin Rei was relieved. At this moment, Liao Jun was sitting on a chair to the side. The wine jar in his hand had long disappeared. His hands were tightly clenched together. It was obvious that he was worried. Suddenly, Lin Rei felt a faint sense of guilt in his heart. Alas! Forget it, I hope nothing happens this time. Chapter 530. Liao Yuning, who came out of Lin Rei's residence, was very nervous even though she was expressionless. She knew very well what it felt like to have broken meridians, and she knew how serious this matter was. Although she could see that Lin Rei did it on purpose, she still came to the Alchemy Guild to ask for medicine for Lin Rei. After all, the reason why Lin Rei's meridians were broken was mostly because of her brother's coercion. Liao Yuning didn't dare to stop and came to the Alchemy Guild's entrance. This time, she was determined to get the medicinal pill, no matter what trouble she encountered. Looking at the entrance of the Alchemy Guild, Liao Yuning deeply sighed. Immediately after, she took a step forward and wanted to enter. But just at that moment, a person just happened to walk out from the Alchemy Guild. From the looks of it, he seemed to have been bullied and his expression was extremely ugly. The moment he saw Liao Yuning, the man's eyes lit up, and he turned around to ask Liao Yuning, "Beauty, is there something you need?" Looking at the wretched man, Liao Yuning frowned. She hated this kind of person the most. Just as she was about to teach him a lesson, she saw the heaven-rank alchemist's badge in the middle of the hall. Instantly, the surging anger in Liao Yuning's heart calmed down. It's like this, my friend's meridians are broken. I want to ask for a medicinal pill here, no matter the price, as long as there's a medicinal pill that can heal meridians. Oh, his meridians are broken? Hearing this, the man frowned and then he thought of God. His frowning brows relaxed and he said, "Oh, the medicinal pill you're talking about, but it's only available to a top emperor-rank alchemist. Moreover, he's my master." Liao Yuning was excited when she heard that there really was a medicinal pill, but as for what the man said after that, she didn't listen carefully, and even if she did, she wouldn't think that an emperor-rank alchemist would want a heaven-rank alchemist as a disciple. If it was really calculated, the alchemist would at most be a handyman. Hearing this, Liao Yuning said, Then can I trouble you to give me a recommendation? My Falling Star Pavilion will definitely remember it." "What? Falling Star Pavilion? Falling Star Pavilion? She's from the Devil Sect?" At this moment, the instant the name Falling Star Pavilion came out from Liao Yuning's mouth, regardless of whether it was the heaven-rank weapon craftsman from earlier or the surrounding passers-by, all of them were in an uproar at this moment. As for the Falling Star Pavilion, they all regarded it as the demonic sect. In front of hundreds of thousands of people, a genius, Liao Bufan, appeared in the falling star pavilion. For some unknown reason, he actually managed to annihilate a city with a population of 1 million in a single night. Among the 4 sects there were 2 Grade 1 sects and the rest were Grade 2 sections. From then on, Liao Bufan became a demon in the eyes of everyone in the divine realm. This time around, the Falling Star Pavilion also became the leader of the demonic sections. Liao Yuning had already guessed everyone's reaction, but she didn't regret it. This was the effect she wanted. She knew that she couldn't get the name she wanted from the Alchemy Guild. She could only rely on her family's background to have a slight chance of winning. At this moment, that heaven-rank weapon craftsman no longer dared to have lewd eyes like before. At this moment, when he heard that the woman before him was actually from the Falling Star Pavilion, his body immediately quivered and he immediately rushed inside. Not long after, that man appeared again. At this moment, there were 3 grizzled-haired old men following behind him. At the instant they saw Liao Yuning, their eyes instantly turned cold. Faintly, Liao Yuning felt a trace of murderous intent. Liao Yuning simply did not place them in her eyes. She had only come here for medicinal pellets and nothing else. Immediately after, she looked at the 3 old men and said indifferently, "I am Liao Yuning. I have only come here to ask for a medicinal pellet that can repair meridians for a friend. No matter what price you offer, I will accept it." Getting straight to the point, Liao Yuning was very direct. However, at this moment, after the 3 old men heard what Liao Yuning said, disdain flashed through their eyes and they said, "Although we don't care about all the sects, if your Falling Star Pavilion can't do it, several 100,000 years ago, your Falling Star Pavilion's pavilion master, Liao Bufan, killed so many people from our Alchemy Guild and destroyed a branch of our Alchemy Guild. Since then, our Alchemy Guild stopped doing any business with the Falling Star Pavilion. Do you think that you can buy medicinal pellets from us?" Once those words were said, a strong smell of gunpowder filled the entire entrance of the Alchemy Guild. Regarding this point, she had once heard her father, Liao Bufan, mention it before. Back then, because he was cultivating a kind of cultivation method, he was poisoned by someone and his heart demon was born. That was why he did such a thing. After he found out about it, he also regretted it. At that moment, Liao Yuning did not care about that, she just wanted to buy medicinal pellet. "I don't care about your business, I just want medicinal pellet. Today, if you give me medicinal pellets, I will give up. If not, then..." Liao Yuning was stupefied. She quickly circulated her skills and black spiritual qi rushed out of her body. A spear appeared in her hand and she released her strength of the Middle Godly Emperor Realm. Middle Godly Emperor Realm, she's a Middle Godly Emperor Realm cultivator. She's so young, how could she be so strong? At that moment, Liao Yuning's cultivation level was being discussed by the passers-by. Everybody was astonished. It was not easy for someone to break through to the Godly Emperor Realm at her age, let alone a Middle Godly Emperor Realm cultivator. When the 3 old men saw that Liao Yuning didn't want to give up, they frowned and released their mid and late godly emperors. 3 qi-long swords appeared in their hands. They looked like they could control everything under the heavens with their swords. The Tian-level weapon refiner in the middle saw that the situation was not good. "Miss, don't do anything stupid. You can't be arrogant in front of the Alchemy Guild," said the old man in the middle at that moment. He looked as if he was saying that Lin Fan could not defeat them. Liao Yuning looked at them and did not say anything else. She took out her spear and rushed towards the 3 old men. Burn, destroy! At that moment, the black spear that was filled with black qi split into 3. They all carried black flames and rushed towards the 3 old men, ready to kill them. At the same time, Liao Yuning disappeared in the air the moment the spell was cast. When she reappeared, she was behind the 3 old men. She used the same trick to stab the back of the 3 old men. The 3 old men panicked when they saw that. They had been silent for too long. Even though they were middle and late godly emperors, they were alchemists. They had used pills to increase their cultivation level. Therefore, Liao Yuning's attack made them feel like cornered beasts. Seeing that the attacks were getting closer and closer to them, one of the old men raised his eyebrows and shouted into the air, "I'm recruiting experts with a peak emperor-level medicinal pill." What? Liao Yuning had a bad feeling. All the sects and clans wanted to recruit alchemists and deployment masters. Liao Yuning had never thought that they would be so shameless. Ha ha, good. Remember what you said. Sure enough, something bad happened. A skinny man who was carrying a coffin on his back suddenly appeared. He waved his hand, and a stream of black spiritual energy flew out, directly crushing all of Liao Yuning's attacks. In such a short time, Liao Yuning didn't even have time to react before her attack was defeated. In this regard, Liao Yuning's brows furrowed tightly. That guy. She knew that person. As a member of the demon sect, how could she not know him? That person was Divine Emperor Tian Sha of the Corpse Sect. He was a famous godly emperor. Liao Yuning had never thought that he would help her just for a pill. When the three old men sensed that they were out of danger, they quickly thanked Divine Emperor Tian Sha. "Thank you. I'll cook for you. Of course, I can give you 3 top godly Emperor Realm pills to help me capture her. What do you think?" Tian Sha thought for a while, and a murderous look flashed in his eyes. After a while, Tian Sha smiled and said, "Okay, I'll take this deal." Liao Yuning panicked when she heard that Tian Sha wanted to make her his enemy. She knew that she was no match for Tian Sha, but things had already come to this. If she didn't do anything, she would be captured. Rather than that, she might have a chance to escape. Haha, why? Are you going to surrender, or do you want me to capture you? Just as Liao Yuning was deep in thought, she heard a sinister voice. Instantly, Liao Yuning's murderous aura surged. She looked like she wanted to fight to the end. Haha, alright. Seeing that we're both from the demon sect, I won't let you die too badly. Seeing Liao Yuning's stubbornness, Tian Sha decided to do the dance himself. Tian Sha slapped Liao Yuning with immense spiritual power. Suddenly, a loud black sound appeared above Liao Yuning's head. It slapped Liao Yuning from top to bottom with great pressure. Humph! Looking at the huge palm above her head, Liao Yuning knew that she did not have the ability to fight back. However, she did not want to give in so easily. She quickly circulated the qi in her body to her hands and resisted the attack. Bang! When Liao Yuning's palms collided with Tian Sha's attack, there was a loud sound. Liao Yuning's hair was disheveled and the black veil on her face had fallen off. Her delicate face was exposed in front of everyone. Blood kept flowing out of her mouth and her face turned pale. Humph, go to hell. Looking at Liao Yuning, who was resisting with her life, Heaven Fiend frowned and sent out another palm strike. The moment she saw this palm strike, Liao Yuning fell into despair. She was truly in despair. And at this moment, a face that she hated appeared in her mind. Chapter 531. This person was undoubtedly Lin Rei. Liao Yuning did not know that her mind would be filled with Lin Rei at this moment. Liao Yuning's body tensed up as she felt the threat of death. She could vaguely see the god of death waving at her. Liao Yuning waited for her death. However, after a long time, she still did not feel anything. She opened her eyes. When she opened her eyes, she was shocked by the scene before her. At this moment, more than 20 black-robed cultivators were standing in front of her, surrounding her. Liao Yuning was confused by the aura they exuded. Not only Liao Yuning, but even the Heaven Fiend Divine Emperor, the 3 elders from the Alchemy Guild, and the onlookers were shocked. No one had expected this to happen. Who are you? How dare you meddle in the affairs of the Alchemy Guild? Aren't you afraid? At this moment, the only thing the 3 elders could do was to use the strength of the Alchemy Guild to suppress them. Otherwise, they would be humiliated. The Alchemy Guild? Do you think we care? You can't touch this person. Our young master wants to protect her. Of course, you can also have a taste of death. At this moment, the 20 black-robed cultivators in front of Liao Yuning were naturally sent by Lin Rei to protect her. When they saw the Heaven Fiend Divine Emperor's claws about to crush Liao Yuning, they moved. 15 of them immediately attacked and destroyed the Heaven Fiend Divine Emperor's attack. However, this attack also shocked everyone, especially the Heaven Fiend Divine Emperor. In response to 15's words, the 3 old men dared not say anything even though they were angry. After witnessing the strength of 15 and the others, how could they make a move? Not only them, but even Tian Sha, who had been extremely arrogant earlier, began to retreat. Stay here. 15 did not like the Heaven Fiend at all. Moreover, he had attacked Liao Yuning, whom Lin Rei had asked them to protect. This made 15 even angrier. When he saw the Heaven Fiend retreating, 15 moved. In an instant, he disappeared on the spot. When the onlookers saw him again, they thought he was behind the Heaven Fiend. The moment he felt something strange behind him, Tian Sha immediately dodged to the side. But how could he be stronger than the Shura clan? 15 casually struck out with his palm. Immediately, 15, who had wanted to dodge, was hit by the spear. He fell directly in front of Liao Yuning. At this moment, Sky Fiend was heavily injured by 15. He couldn't help but coldly snort. His eyes twitched as he turned to look at 15 and 15's group. His tone was very vicious as he threatened. You can't kill me. I'm a disciple of the Corpse Ghost Sect. If you kill me, our sect master will refine you into battle corpses. Seeing that the Heaven Fiend was still a threat despite being reduced to such a state, 15 did not hesitate. He walked forward and stomped on the Heaven Fiend's head. The moment the Heaven Fiend died, a black mini version of the Heaven Fiend rushed towards the sky. Looking at the escaping mini version of the Heaven Fiend, 15, who was already prepared, stretched out his hand. A blood-red energy rushed out and enveloped the mini version of the Heaven Fiend, refining it instantly. Waves of energy instantly merged into 15's body. 15 was satisfied with this energy, and his face was filled with a satisfied smile. Boom! A muffled sound rang out. At this moment, when no one was paying attention or feeling it, a muffled sound came from 15's body. The sound was so soft that it was covered by the surrounding noise. I didn't expect to break through to the Divine Ancestor level at this time, although no one knew, 15 could feel it himself. Feeling the seal being broken again, this feeling made him very happy. At this moment, the mini version of the Heaven Fiend had been completely refined by 15. Wow! Seeing 15's method of killing the mini version of the Heaven Fiend, the surrounding people began to panic. Their eyes were filled with fear as they retreated backward. Even the 3 elders who had threatened him with the name of the Alchemy Guild were scared when they saw that a powerful cultivator with the cultivation of a divine emperor could not even last one move in front of their lover. However, at this moment, Liao Yuning was still in a state of confusion. She did not understand who the young Master 15 was talking about was. She also did not know why these people wanted to protect her. As for the scene in front of the Alchemy Guild, 15 had already passed on the message to Lin Rei. Lin Rei, who was lying on the bed, received the message from 15. When he learned that he had broken through to the Divine Emperor level and entered the Divine Ancestor level, he could not help but jump up in excitement. Regarding this, Liao Jun, who had been sitting next to him worriedly, was puzzled. However, at this moment, he ignored Lin Rei and stared at the door. When he saw Liao Jun's expression, Lin Rei could not bear to see him like this. He stood up and looked at him. Lin Rei ignored him and walked out of the room. Then, he dared to walk towards where Liao Yuning was. Although he did not know that it was too early for him to expose himself. However, how could he improve his cultivation without pressure? This was undoubtedly a dangerous move. This was also a decision he had made after thinking for a long time. Previously, he had always felt that his cultivation had improved a little too slowly. Also, his doppelganger had improved too quickly, causing his foundation to be unstable. Another reason was that these days had been too boring. As for the Tendo competition, Lin Rei had no intention of participating in it at all. Therefore, he had to find something to do. At the entrance of the Alchemy Guild, Liao Yuning stood up. Although she was puzzled, if she could get what she wanted, it would not be a bad thing. Thinking of this, Liao Yuning walked to the side of 15 and said to the 3 elders of the Alchemy Guild, "Give me the pills that can reconnect the meridians and I'll let this matter rest." Hearing Liao Yuning's words, the 3 elders' faces turned green and red. They felt that their self-esteem had been trampled on. However, in the face of a powerhouse, how could they not agree? Then, the 3 elders hurriedly nodded and said in unison, Okay, we will give you the pills now." Then, the one in the middle flipped his hand and a pill bottle appeared. He then handed it to Liao Yuning. However, just when they thought that everything would go smoothly, a voice suddenly rang out. Instantly, the pill bottle that was about to reach the elder's hand was taken back by the elder. Embarrassing. As an alchemist of the Alchemy Guild, you're actually so afraid of death. The appearance of this person stunned everyone. Then, accompanied by the voice, an old man with a head full of white hair appeared in front of everyone without any warning. With the appearance of a senior lecturing a junior, he criticized the 3 elders. "Look at you, you're all so old. I thought that after such a long period of cultivation, your temperament would become stable. Sigh. I didn't expect this." Then, he sighed and shook his head. His eyes were filled with disappointment as he looked at them. Regarding this, the 3 elders had nothing to say and gradually nodded in agreement. Liao Yuning felt an invisible sense of oppression towards the old man who suddenly appeared and interrupted her. She did not know why it was like this, but looking at him, he seemed to have a very high status in the Alchemy Guild. Little girl, you're so rude. Could it be that Liao Bufan hasn't seen you before? Children shouldn't interrupt when elders are talking? Then, he waved his hand and a gust of cold wind came to Liao Yuning's side in an instant. At this moment, the moment she felt the cold wind, Liao Yuning knew that she was definitely no match for it. Just when she thought she was going to suffer, a figure suddenly appeared. It was none other than 15, who had broken through to the Divine Emperor realm and entered the Holy Sect. The moment the old man made a move, 15 also moved. Then, he operated his cultivation method to the extreme and his spiritual chi burst out in an instant. He blocked the old man's cold wind. This scene made the old man's eyes light up. Then, a gust of wind stronger than before rushed towards 15. Old man, do you think you can stop me like this? Looking at the gust of wind that was about to sweep over, 15's face was filled with an excited smile. Then, he waved his hand and a huge blood-red energy turned into a blade and rushed towards the gust of wind. A piercing sound was heard. The sound of cloth being cut was heard. The blood-red blade directly cut through the gust of wind from the middle. Hiss! When this scene appeared, everyone around could not help but feel shocked. What kind of cultivation level is he? He can actually do that. At this moment, the old man was also very confused. He had never heard of anyone who could cut through the gust of wind and make a sound. Not only was he confused, but he was also confused about 15's cultivation level. Not for any other reason, but because he could not sense 15's cultivation level at all. Even though he could judge from 15's chi that he was at the Divine Emperor realm, this kind of power was far beyond the Divine Emperor realm. Who are you? The 3 old men behind him also asked the same question, but in the end, 15 did not give them the answer they wanted. You don't need to know. You just need to know that our young master will protect this woman. Your young master? Who are your young masters? How come I have never heard of such a powerful family in the divinity? They were very curious about the young master that 15 was talking about. At the same time, Liao Yuning was also very curious. She really wanted to know who the mysterious young master was. Our young master, when 15 heard their questions, he was about to refuse when a voice sounded. Their young master is me. As soon as the voice sounded, everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw a very young man walking towards them. Chapter 532. The young man was not very handsome, but he had a strange aura that was very attractive, especially his slightly purple hair and red eyes, which were very attractive. Everyone saw it, and Liao Yuning was no exception. When she saw the person who spoke, she froze on the spot as if she was struck by lightning. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. How could this be possible? In fact, she couldn't connect this matter with Lin Rei, because from her observation of Lin Rei before, although Lin Rei was very mysterious, she didn't think this force belonged to Lin Rei. "Oh, it's you." Looking at Lin Rei, he was shocked. Obviously, he didn't expect that this group of mysterious people in front of him would be ordered by such a young man. F***ck. The moment he heard the old man's words, Lin Rei directly cursed. Suddenly, everyone around was stunned. By the time they reacted, Lin Rei had already come to Liao Yuning's side. Looking at her with disdain, he said indifferently, "Isn't it just taking a pill? Look at you. You're in such a state that I have to help you settle it." However, at this moment, when the old man saw that Lin Rei didn't intend to talk to him at all, the anger in his heart instantly surged to his throat. Tisk! Liao Yuning still didn't believe Lin Rei's identity, because she really didn't expect that he would have such powerful subordinates at this moment when he said that he was just a suppression of a holy sect. Who would believe this? Ha! As for Liao Yuning, Lin Rei didn't expect her to say anything nice. Then, he smiled at her and came in front of 15. Looking at him, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with respect. "Greetings, young master." With one sentence, all the Shura people bowed to Lin Rei. Suddenly, after all, everyone in the first division was shocked. Previously, everyone thought that this person was joking, but they didn't find out that it was true. The person in front was really the young master of this group of mysterious people. Regarding this news spread like wildfire through the streets and alleys of Heaven's Wall City. As long as there were people, this news would be everywhere. Seeing that the person who saved her really called Lin Rei young master, Liao Yuning froze on the spot, her eyes full of surprise. You did well. However, you don't have to think too much about these people. Next time, just kill them. It's not like you don't know that I don't need that pill at all." As he spoke, Lin Rei looked at the old man in front of him with a bloodthirsty gaze. Together with the 3 old men behind him, their voices were filled with murderous intent. Murderous intent rose from their bodies as if they wanted to kill someone. The old man really wanted to attack Lin Rei and what he said, but after the previous battle with 15, he was afraid. Although he was confident that he could escape, in the future, everyone in the realm of the gods would know that he was a coward who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Then, the old man said with a smile, "Young friend, this is all a misunderstanding. I don't know the whole story." As he spoke, the old man's face darkened. Then, he turned to the 3 people behind him and said, "Bastards, come out and apologize." This attitude was enough to show the old man's intention to make peace. However, Lin Rei's anger didn't subside because of this. Apologize? If apologies were useful, then there wouldn't be so many dead people in this world. As he spoke, he shot a wink at 15. Immediately, 15 understood and attacked. He was so fast that he took the lives of the 3 old men in one move. Not only were their lives taken, but their divine souls were also taken out by 15 in an instant. The old man didn't realize what had happened in time. When he realized what had happened, it was too late. Their corpses were already lying in front of him. The old man was furious, but he couldn't do anything about it. He wasn't sure whether he could defeat 15 or not. Therefore, he could only endure it for the sake of his life and reputation. Boom! At this moment, when Lin Rei saw the corpses on the ground, a blood-red flame appeared in his hand, and he threw it on the 3 corpses. In an instant, the 3 godly emperors were burned to ashes. Not even a strand of hair was left. What? Liao Yuning was shocked by Lin Rei's cruel and merciless actions. She suddenly remembered what Lin Rei had said before. Suddenly, a cold wind blew on her back. Liao Yuning couldn't help but shiver. That's it. Since the Alchemy Guild won't give me the pills, forget it. I don't need them anyway. Seeing that the matter was settled, Lin Rei believed it. Today's exposure was enough for people to remember him. Besides, he believed that the news had already spread to the entire Heaven's Wall City. Lin Rei knew when to stop. As for the old man, he couldn't wait for Lin Rei to leave. He prayed that Lin Rei would never come back. As he spoke, Lin Li turned and walked towards the back. At this moment, no one dared to block his path. Lin Li smiled at them in response. Then, he left with Liao Yuning. However, Lin Li didn't know that at this moment, everyone had already linked Lin Li with the Devil Path's Falling Star Pavilion in their hearts. Especially that smile of his before he left. In his eyes, it was an extremely ordinary smile. However, in their eyes, that smile was extremely evil. Evil to the extent that they were terrified. Lin Rei didn't say anything along the way with Liao Yuning. As for 15 and the others, after they came out, Lin Rei asked them to hide. You? Who are you? As they walked, Liao Yuning suddenly stopped and looked at Lin Rei with vigilance. The spiritual energy in her body was circulating as if she was ready to fight at any time. Looking at her, Lin Rei smiled bitterly and said, "Haha, why? I just helped you and you want to repay kindness with ingratitude? Did the Falling Star Pavilion teach you? Is this how Liao Bufan disciplined his children?" As soon as he said that, Liao Yuning's eyes widened. Then, she became even more vigilant. She had never said anything about what Lin Rei said, but at this moment it was said by him. How could she not be terrified? Seeing that Liao Yuning still wanted to say something, Lin Rei frowned and said in an unfriendly tone, "All right, I've done so many things today. I'm sure my identity has been known by others. You guys can stay here." With that, Lin Rei didn't give her another chance. Instead, he disappeared from the street in a few flashes, leaving Liao Yuning alone on the street. After hearing Lin Rei's words, Liao Yuning frowned and immediately chased after Lin Rei. Chapter 533. It had been 3 days since Lin Rei killed the 3 alchemists in the Alchemy Guild. In these 3 days, many people were looking for Lin Rei. Some wanted to recruit him, while others wanted to pry for information. There was no lack of aristocratic family members and sect descendant. Lu Yunhan was one of them. Lin Li didn't have a chance at all. In the past few days, Lin Li had been hiding in his room, eating and drinking. Most importantly, hiding from Liao Jun. After Lin Rei returned to the restaurant, Liao Yuning was a blabbermouth. She immediately told him everything. Fortunately, Lin Rei ran away quickly. Otherwise, he would have been annoyed to death. In these few days, Lin Rei thought about a lot of things. He couldn't stay here any longer. He didn't like to participate in the Tendo conference anyway. Therefore, he followed what the little dragon said before and went out to train. This way, he could train his cultivation and slim down. He could also consolidate his unstable foundation. It was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. "Kid, have you been relaxing these few months? Isn't it time to move around?" Within the system, Lin Li was sitting next to him with fruit and a jug of wine in his hand. His legs were crossed, and he was humming a little tune. He was living a very comfortable life. Just as Lin Li was enjoying himself, Xiaolong's voice rang out. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei's trembling legs stopped in the air. His hand that was holding the wine jug also stopped. Slowly opening his eyes, Linli looked at Xiaolong, then rolled his eyes at him. Very unhappily, he said, "Humph, can't you just let me have a good rest? In the past few hundred years, when have I ever truly had a relaxing day?" With that, Lin Rei stood up and pretended to brush off the dust on his body. Then, he grabbed the wine jug and gulped down a mouthful of wine. Only then did he calm down. "Okay, I got it. Isn't it just to cultivate quickly?" With that, Lin Rei came to the little dragon's side, put a hand on his shoulder, and nodded. Upon hearing this, the little dragon immediately rolled her eyes at Lin Rei. She then slapped the hand off her shoulder and said snappily to Lin Rei, "It's good that you know. Anyway, you can see for yourself. Now, everyone in Heaven's Wall City knows about you." With that, the little dragon headed into a dark place. At that moment, Lin Rei chased after the little dragon and placed his hand on the little dragon's shoulder. "Actually, I know even without you telling me. Besides, I've decided that I'm going to the Death Canyon this time. I hope that I can improve my cultivation there to the point where I can protect the people I care about as soon as possible." Speaking of this, the battle intent that had been dormant for a long time suddenly burst out. After sensing Lin Rei's abnormal state, the little dragon's shoulder was full of smiles. "Hee, that's right. But you have to remember that this is very important. Moreover, you must never let anyone in the realm of the gods know about the purple blood in your body. Even the Liao siblings can't think about it. Do you understand? I'm doing this for your own good." At that moment, after hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei didn't let him finish speaking. However, he had heard this sentence many times and these words had long been memorized by Lin Rei. They were even engraved in his heart. He knew the importance of his blood, so he didn't need to remind Lin Rei of this matter. "Alright, it's good that you know. But I still have to remind you to be careful. Don't trust anyone unrelated to you. Perhaps this will allow you to live a little longer." Having said that, the little dragon's body began to fade. When it finally disappeared completely, Lin Rei didn't chase after it. He knew that in the system, even if he wanted to, he wouldn't be able to catch up. By the way, little dragon, the 1,000-tentacle worm has so much energy. Can it help the Shura clan break the seal in their bodies? The moment the little dragon disappeared, Lin Rei finally asked the question that he had been thinking about for a long time. "Yes, it can. But are you sure you want to give your mobile energy source to them? That energy source is enough for you to last until you become a monarch god. If they use it, you can only last until you become a monarch god." Hearing that it would be useful for 15 and the others, Lin Rei didn't care about the rest of the words. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but that he didn't need it. He knew that it wasn't the best thing to gain something without working for it. Although it was the fastest, it was easy for people to become lazy. "I understand. Use it on them. Try to get all of them to enter Divine Sect, even monarch gods. Of course, if it really doesn't work, then raise them as much as you can." In the darkness, hearing Lin Rei's words, the little dragon's face revealed a gratified smile. But in order not to let Lin Rei hear it, the little dragon immediately said in a deep voice, "All right, since you've decided, then I'll do it." As he spoke, the little dragon completely disappeared from this region of space. As the little dragon left, a smile appeared on Linli's face. He then exited the system space. He returned to his residence. Seeing that there wasn't a speck of dust, he knew that his wife had done it. With a slight smile on his face, he pushed open the door and walked out. However, the moment Lin Rei pushed open the door, a figure that he didn't want to see appeared. "Ah, brother Lin Rei." This person was none other than Liao Jun, who knew of Lin Rei's strength. When Lin Rei disappeared, he stayed at Lin Rei's door, waiting for Lin Rei to show up. Sure enough, the heavens didn't disappoint those who waited. Today, he finally arrived. Looking at Liao Jun, Lin Rei had a headache and felt helpless. He didn't know what he could do to make him return to normal. I've said it before. I want you as my brother. Of course, you can continue to hide, but I believe that you'll agree soon. Lin Rei shuddered when he saw Liao Jun's smile. Then, in order to stop Liao Jun from pestering him every day, Lin Rei said, Okay, I'll admit it, okay? Hurry up and leave. I still have to find my wife. As he spoke, Linley began to tug at the thigh that Liao Jun was hugging. This time, to Linley's surprise, Liao Jun didn't cling onto it like he had in the past. Instead, Liao Jun easily gave it to him. Okay, go inside. I'll go back and tell my sister. Tomorrow. Let's set up an altar and burn incense to the heavens and earth. We'll become sworn brothers. With that, Liao Jun left in a hurry. At this moment, when he heard Liao Jun's words, he wanted to stop him. However, when he thought that he was going to leave soon, Lin Rei suddenly realized that he was going to leave soon. At this moment, Liao Jun didn't know that this meeting was actually a farewell. He was very happy at this moment. He quickly returned to his residence and told his sister, Liao Yuning, the news. Liao Yuning didn't stop him. If it was before, she might have said something. However, after seeing Lin Rei's strength, she knew that Lin Rei wasn't simple. Chapter 534. After Lin Rei parted ways with Liao Jun, he went to his wife's room. Without knocking, Lin Rei pushed the door open and entered. When Lin Rei entered the room, he saw a very eye-catching scene. At this moment, Luing was changing her clothes. When she heard the door open, she didn't care about anything else and used her cultivation. A long sword appeared in her hand and she instantly appeared in front of Lin Rei, pressing the long sword against his throat. When Luing saw that it was her husband, she immediately put away her long sword and looked at him apologetically. Are you trying to murder your husband? When it came to his own wife, he never had his guard up, so if Luing had given up, he would have been dead by now. I didn't know it was you. I thought you weren't back yet. And who told you to come to my room in broad daylight without knocking? In order to turn things around, Luing started to act shamelessly. Lin Rei couldn't do anything about this. Okay, it's my fault, okay? Knowing that it was useless to say anything, Lin Rei tactfully walked to the bed and sat down. However, Lin Rei was still very frightened at this moment. When he thought about the feeling of death, Lin Rei's body tensed up. Even though it was his wife who wasn't in danger this time, what about the next time? It would be someone else. What would happen to him now? With that thought, Lin Rei originally planned to leave tomorrow, but he couldn't wait any longer. At this moment, he made a decision in his heart. Hurry and pack your things. Go and find the two of them. We're leaving. What? Luing didn't return to her senses for a moment at the sudden news, so she quickly asked in confusion. Towards his wife's questions, Linley would definitely answer them. I said, we are going to leave Heaven's Wall City. Go call those two. Remember, under no circumstances can you disturb the Liao siblings. I don't want them to know that we are leaving. This time, Luing heard it very clearly. He always listened to Lin Rei when it came to such matters. Okay, I got it. With that, Luing hurriedly put on his clothes and disappeared from the room. Not long after, when he returned, there were two more people behind him. Young master, why are you in such a hurry? At this moment, Lin Tian and his younger brother, who had entered the room, hurriedly spoke when they saw Lin Rei. They were very shocked when they heard the news. They did not understand why he would leave at this time. Moreover, the Tendo competition was about to begin. They felt that it was inappropriate to leave at this time. Looking at their expressions, Lin Rei knew that they were very puzzled. Without further explanation, he said, the Tendo competition is not suitable for me. What I want is the kind of life and death situation where I have to break through my cultivation. I don't care about this kind of regularity. As for the final reward, I'm even less interested. With that, Lin Ray stood up and walked out. When the two of them heard Lin Ray's words, their hearts trembled and the doubts in their hearts were cleared. Let's go. Young master is right. We don't need these things. With that, Lin Tian followed closely behind. From now on, it was the younger brother's turn to leave. The four of them did not disturb them, nor did they have the chance to take the black gold coins from the shop owner. The few of them quietly left Heaven's Wall City and left this place where trouble and trouble were gathering. Phew! The moment they stepped out of the city gates, Lin Tian heaved a sigh of relief. His mood instantly improved, and he was even happier than before. Hee, alright, stop being so smug. We still have to hurry on our way later. Looking at the crowd, Linley paused for a moment, then immediately summoned the tiger that he had yet to summon. Awoo! In an instant, a huge tiger that was over 10 meters long appeared in front of everyone. The younger brother and Lin Tian recognized it, but Lu Ying didn't know of its existence. At this moment, the fighting tiger that had been summoned by Linley said to Linley and the others with a bitter look on his face, "You guys really have no shame. You were so shocked that you didn't even pay attention to me. I thought you had forgotten about me." With that, the tiger squatted down and started to act coquettishly in front of Lin Ray, as if it wanted to fight for his favor. Looking at it, Linley felt a surge of guilt in his heart. To be honest, in the past few years, Linley had almost forgotten about its existence. Lin Ray then said, all right, little flame, it's my fault, alright? I'll call you out more often in the future, alright? Awoo! Hearing Lin Ray's words, the tiger jumped up in excitement. At this moment, Lin Ray didn't realize that the raging flame tiger had already raised its cultivation to the intermediate divine guard realm. Seeing how excited the raging flame tiger was, Lin Ray quickly calmed it down. Alright, stop jumping. Hurry up and bring us out of here. After hearing Lin Ray's order, the excited raging flame tiger immediately stopped its crazy behavior. It squatted down and waited for Lin Ray and the others to jump on its back. Then, it rushed out in the direction that Lin Ray pointed. Time often passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lin Ray had already left for a day and a night. The next day, Liao Jun, who had received Lin Ray's promise, woke up very early to prepare for the success of becoming sworn brothers today. Alright, look at you. You're so eager that you think we're throwing ourselves at you. At this moment, Liao Yuning, who couldn't stand it, said coldly to Liao Jun, "Tsk." He had long known about his sister's indifference. Although she said so, it didn't stop Liao Jun from getting busy. Soon, after everything was ready, Liao Jun said to Liao Yuning, "Wait here. I'm going to find Brother Lin Ray." After saying that, he instantly activated his cultivation and arrived in front of Lin Ray's door. Looking at the closed door, Liao Jun frowned and knocked on the door. "Brother Lin Ray, are you up?" After Liao Jun finished speaking, the room was silent for a long time. Then, Liao Jun called again. But this time, just like before, there was no sound or movement. At this moment, he couldn't care less. He released his divine sense and instantly entered the room. The empty room fell into Liao Jun's mind. Immediately, Liao Jun frowned. Then, he came to the room where Lin Tian and his younger brother had stayed before. He released his divine sense and found that there was no one inside, just like Lin Ray's room. No, Lin Ray wouldn't do that. After saying that, Liao Jun went back to Lu Ying's door like a madman. He knocked on the door first. When he didn't hear any movement, Liao Jun's divine sense entered the room. It was as clean as their room. There was no sign of anyone inside at all. It didn't seem like someone had stayed here last night. He left without saying goodbye? Chapter 535. Liao Yuning had been waiting at the altar for a long time, but she didn't see her brother come back. Suddenly, she became anxious. No, nothing will happen to him, right? She loved her brother very much and would never let him get hurt. Seeing that her brother didn't show any signs of coming back, she walked towards Lin Rei's rented place. Along the way, Liao Yuning kept praying that nothing would happen to her brother. Along the way, Liao Yuning was in a state of anxiety. However, when Liao Yuning arrived at Lin Rei's place, a familiar back appeared in her sight. Disappointed? Sad? Looking at the familiar back, Liao Yuning didn't know what her brother had gone through. At this moment, his back looked so bleak. Slowly, with a heavy heart, she came to Liao Jun's side and patted him on the shoulder. She said in a deep voice, "What's wrong? What happened?" "Sister." At this moment, Liao Jun, who was sitting on the ground, heard his sister's voice. He immediately turned around and raised his head. He didn't know how long his tears had been flowing. There were deep tear stains on his cheek. "You? What's wrong with you?" Looking at her brother, Liao Yuning couldn't calm down. She had never made her brother cry. However, at this moment, seeing her brother so sad, how could she not feel heartache? "Sister, Lin Rei. Lin Rei and the others are all gone." "What?" Hearing her brother's words, Liao Yuning frowned and then flashed to Lin Rei's door. She pushed the door open and saw that the room was empty. Suddenly, Liao Yuning's face became gloomy. She released her divine sense and rushed into the room next to her. The room that Lin Tian and her male brother stayed in was the same. It was very clean and didn't look like the fruit last night. Seeing this, Liao Yuning's heart was gloomy to the extreme. Anger surged in an instant. "Humph, bastard, how dare you lie to my brother? You're dead meat." At this moment, after confirming that Lin Rei and the others had left, Liao Yuning didn't know why. Although she was angry, she didn't hate them. Although she didn't hate them, there was a trace of unwillingness. "Sister, do you think I made Lin Rei feel bad in some way? Or does he mind my identity as a disciple of the Devil Sect and doesn't want to be friends with me?" Liao Yuning was in a difficult position. She didn't know what Linli was thinking and couldn't guess what he was thinking. "So, little brother, do you really want to find Lin Rei and the others?" Suddenly, an idea came to Liao Yuning's mind when she saw her brother so sad. "Yes." Hearing his sister Liao Yuning's words, Liao Jun hurriedly turned around and said, "I really want to be friends with Lin Rei," but looking at her brother, Liao Yuning immediately voiced out her thoughts. "Since that's the case, that's fine. I'll help you catch him. You stay here and participate in the Tendo competition obediently, okay?" "What?" Hearing his sister Liao Yuning's words, Liao Jun was stunned. At this moment, he had already guessed what the other party was going to do next. Indeed, the following words were all silently thought by Liao Jun. "I'm going to find Lin Rei and bring him back to you. No matter where he is, as long as he has wronged you, I'll catch him and bring him back to you regardless of the strength and background behind him." Liao Yuning's eyes were filled with determination. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that his departure without saying goodbye had led to such an unsalvageable situation. As for Liao Jun, looking at his sister's determined eyes, he knew that as long as she had decided on something, even if he was her younger brother, there was no way he could change her mind. "Yes, I know." Liao Jun, who had never been separated from Liao Yuning since he was young, heard that his sister had left for him. Although he was a little reluctant, he didn't want his sister to worry, so he could only pretend to be calm. All right. Since that's the case, I'll leave the rest to you. After the elder asks, just say that I have something important to do. If you really can't hide it, then tell him about my face. Remember, everything has to be done for your benefit." Speaking of this, Liao Yuning nodded her head and circulated her spiritual energy rapidly. She began to form strange hand seals. Suddenly, the surroundings moved without any wind. "Sister, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?" At this moment, when he sensed the movement of the surrounding martial arts, Liao Jun frowned and was shocked. His face instantly turned gloomy. At this moment, his sister Liao Yuning had used the Falling Star Pavilion's very vicious tracking technique, Li Li. The caster's cultivation would drop a small level as the price. Only in this way could the caster find the person she wanted to find. Seeing this, Liao Jun panicked and immediately stepped forward to stop her. Dodge. Just when Liao Jun's power entered Li Li, Liao Yuning panicked. Although she was the one who cast the technique, if the person who came in carelessly was not careful, it would be very dangerous. She might even lose her life. Looking at his sister, Liao Jun stopped. He didn't dare to move forward. For people who knew his sister very well, he knew that his sister was a very extreme person. As long as he was in danger, she would stop casting the technique at all costs. But in the end, only she would suffer. This was not what he wanted to see. So when Liao Yuning said those words, Liao Jun didn't dare to move forward. Well, little brother, when I'm not here, you must remember to protect yourself. Don't let yourself go into a dangerous place. Do you understand? At this moment, Liao Yuning looked at her brother, who grew up in front of her with a worried expression. She was very reluctant to part with him at this moment. Yes, I know. Don't worry. Haha, good. Then, I'm leaving. Looking at her brother's smiling face, Liao Yuning's hand quickly moved. In an instant, a red line appeared in front of her eyes. Looking at him, Liao Yuning's face lit up. She waved goodbye to Liao Jun and her body quickly disappeared. She rushed out of the city. Sister, you must be careful. Seeing his sister's figure disappearing in front of him, Liao Jun felt very sad. But he didn't show it. After Liao Yuning disappeared completely, a drop of tears slid down Liao Jun's cheek and fell to the ground. For a very long time, Liao Jun was immersed in the sadness of his sister's departure. After a long time, he came back to his senses. Alas! Lin Rei, where are you? At this moment, in a valley in the east of Danzhou, Lin Rei, who was missed by the Liao siblings, was eating barbecue and drinking wine with his wife and brothers. Chapter 536. Young Master, I've been cultivating very hard in here. Do you think can I stay outside for a few more days? At this moment, the raging flame tiger, who was the size of a small mountain, lowered his head and opened his mouth wide as he looked at Lin Rei with pleading eyes. At this moment, Lin Tian, who was enjoying his meal, was amused when he saw the tiger's appearance. Haha, forget it, young master. He's too big of a target. It'll be easier to expose ourselves like this. That's right, Lei Ji. Forget it, let him go back. How could the boys not know what Lin Tian meant? When they heard Lin Tian's words, they started to kick up a fuss. You two bastards. When young master and I were together, you weren't even there yet. How dare you bully me like this now? I don't want to live anymore. When they heard the tiger's words, everyone thought he was going to flip out, but who knew that the next scene would make them burst out laughing. As the tiger spoke, he lay on the ground and started to make a scene, looking like he wouldn't get up unless you let him stay outside. Lin Rei didn't comment on their conversation from start to finish. He just sat quietly next to Lu Ying and gnawed on the bone of his phone. When the tiger, who was making a scene on the ground, saw that no one had a chance to speak to him, he stopped, turned over, and continued to eat without saying anything. Looking at the tiger, Lin Tian also said, Young master, the tiger is a divine guard-level demon beast. Let him stay outside for a while. Anyway, he'll be cultivating when he goes back anyway. Why not let him cultivate outside? This way, when the tiger heard Lin Tian's words, it quickly lifted its huge head and looked at him in surprise. Lin Rei, who had been silent all this while, interrupted Lin Tian before he could finish speaking. I didn't say anything. It was you guys who were talking from the beginning to the end. Moreover, When did you guys listen to me telling you not to let him go outside? Moreover, what reason do I have to not let him go outside? His cultivation is higher than both of you. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the tiger was very happy and began to move happily. Lin Tian and the male brother, the moment they heard Lin Rei's words, all of them started to move. Alright, let's go since we're all done eating. I feel like I'm going to die in the canyon of death. After everyone finished eating, Lin Rei stood up and waved at the tiger. Then, he jumped onto the tiger's back. Lu Ying and the others followed closely behind and sat on the tiger's back. Suddenly, the tiger kicked its hind legs and rushed towards Death Canyon. Along the way, in order to not enter the system, the tiger performed very well. It was basically moving forward at a fast pace. It was basically unheard of. It would only stop to rest when Lin Rei specifically emphasized it. Lin Rei was also very helpless about this, but this was a very good thing. At the very least, they could reach the danger zone of Danzhou earlier. Also, this was what Lin Rei hoped for, so Lin Rei didn't express too much about it. Time passed very quickly. Along the way, Lin Rei would stop at some places with good scenery to rest before setting off again. This kind of life lasted for a month before it finally came to an end. Death Canyon is right in front. Are you guys ready? At this moment, there was a very narrow canyon in front of them. It was a frightening place. Looking at him, Lin Rei felt inexplicably excited. Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone nodded. Their nerves couldn't help but become alert at this moment. To be honest, they hadn't fought in a long time and were a little rusty in this aspect. Stand by at any time. Hearing these words, Linley turned his head to look at them, then laughed. Then, he squeezed the tiger with his legs, and instantly, he understood and charged into the gorge. Heaven's Wall City. At this moment, Heaven's Wall City could be said to be exceptionally lively. During the period when Lin Rei left, Heaven's Wall City was even more lively than before. All the major powers had arrived in Heaven's Wall City to wait for the martial arts conference to begin. During this period, Gu Saiwo had been constantly searching for Lin Rei. He was afraid that Lin Rei would cause trouble. Although he knew that Lin Rei had very strong subordinates, he was very afraid that Lin Rei would seek revenge on Qiankuan Sect. Therefore, during this period, he had mobilized almost all of Divine Sect's people, including Lu Yunhan. However, during this period of time, they couldn't even find his shadow. They also didn't expect that Lin Rei had already left this place. At this moment, it could be said to be an eventful period in the city. Deaths and injuries were unavoidable, especially between the Orthodox Tao and Devil Sect. The number of casualties was extremely high. However, Lin Rei didn't notice some of these things. At this moment, he had already entered the canyon. Young master, this place gives me a very oppressive feeling. Also, there seems to be a murderous aura in front of us? At this moment, sitting on the tiger's back, Lin Rei suddenly heard 15's voice. Instantly, he frowned and had a bad feeling in his heart. What's going on? Can you feel what it is? For 15, who had broken through to Divine Sect, to say such words, that thing must be very powerful. In terms of murderous aura, Lin Rei knew that he wasn't a human. However, based on 15's words, the murderous aura in front of them seemed to be even stronger than his. I can't feel it. It's very vague. Looking ahead and recalling 15's words, Lin Rei immediately stopped the tiger. It wasn't good to move forward. He wasn't sure what the danger in front of them was. What's wrong, Lei Ji? Sensing Lin Rei's strange behavior, the young man hurriedly asked. Not only him, but even Lin Tian and Lu Ying looked at Lin Rei suspiciously after seeing Lin Rei's strange behavior, wanting to ask for an answer. It's nothing. It's just that there's something in front that we can't afford to offend. After saying that, Lin Rei didn't say anything else. With a thought, he entered the system in an instant. When he arrived in a dark space, Lin Rei roared into the air. "Little dragon, hurry and come out. Help me feel what the thing in front of us is." Before the person could be seen, the voice was heard first. "Don't bother me. Go ask the system. He knows." Just as he said that, the little dragon spoke again. Instantly, Lin Rei followed the little dragon's instructions and asked the system, "System, check the geographical location of this place and give me all the information." Ding dong. Okay, the system will automatically deduct the required fee. Hearing the system agree, Lin Rei was happy. However, when he thought about the deductions, Lin Rei smiled bitterly. Okay. Hurry and check it out for me. You can settle the fees yourself." At that moment, how could he care about that? All he wanted to do was to quickly solve the problem in front of him. Ding dong. The system is beginning to scan the terrain. Please wait a moment. Chapter 537. Time passed bit by bit. Lin Rei waited anxiously on the spot. He had also felt the murderous aura that 15 had mentioned earlier. In comparison, Lin Rei could say without hesitation that he was an ant and an elephant when compared to it. They were not on the same level at all. Lin Rei was very shocked. He could not imagine what kind of thing could have such a strong murderous aura. How many people did it have to kill to accumulate such a strong murderous aura? Feeling the murderous aura, Lin Rei became nervous. "Everyone, quickly hide. You go in first. I'll help you out after we pass this stage." Before they could finish speaking, Lin Rei wrapped the tiger with his divine sense and instantly put it into the system. The moment they heard Lin Rei's words, they hid all the aura on their bodies without stopping. Done. Looking at them, Lin Rei smiled and did not say anything. His divine sense entered the system and waited for the system's reply. Lin Rei did not know how much time had passed. Just as Lin Rei was bored to death, the system's voice suddenly sounded. "Ding dong, the system's detection is complete. Would the host like to accept it?" Hearing this, Lin Rei rolled his eyes at the system in annoyance. "Nonsense, of course I accept it." Ding dong, Death Canyon, originally known as Xianming, means a place that leads to the Nine Nether. However, a terrifying war once broke out here, so it became what it is now. What? The Nine Nether? Hearing the system's explanation, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with surprise, but at the same time, there was an indescribable joy on his face. It was not for anything else but to be able to go to the ghost realm to find his wife and child. That's right. The Nine Nether can also be called the Ghost Realm. There are many resentful spirits floating around here. Some of them are too powerful, so they begin to devour other resentful spirits to increase their strength. However, there is a very longing restriction here. Only here can they survive. If they dare to take a step out of here, they will suffer indelible consequences. Even the moment they step out of here, they will be turned into ashes. Lin Rei raised his head. This place was different from the outside world. Ever since he entered this place, Lin Rei discovered that it was daytime outside, but this place was incomparably gloomy. There was no sunlight at all, nor was there a trace of human life. Moreover, it was gloomy all year round. It was extremely terrifying. It gave people the feeling that, if they squeezed in, their hair would stand on end and their hair would stand on end. Then, looking at the pitch-black system space, Lin Rei wanted to say something, but before he could say anything, the system spoke again. This place is divided into 6 levels. Each level has an extremely dangerous existence. Let's go to the one in front of you. Although you feel that he is very terrifying, it is undeniable that he is just a small fry. The stronger ones are still behind. The first level is death. The second level is comprehension. The third level is killing. The fourth level is heaven's net. The fifth level is thunder territory. As for the sixth level, Lin Rei, who was originally listening excitedly, suddenly stopped when the system mentioned the 6th level. Regarding this, Lin Ray was very helpless. The 6th level is exactly what you are looking forward to. The entrance to the ghost realm. Of course, until now, no one has been willing to try to enter the 6th level. Moreover, with your current strength, I'm afraid that you will be killed on the spot when you reach the 2nd level of Niden, not to mention entering the ghost realm. Listening to the system talk about the division of the Death Canyon, Lin Ray was very shocked. It would be a lie to say that he was not surprised. Previously, when he saw the map about the division of the Divine Realm, it only introduced this place as a canyon. It did not say how many levels there were. Regarding this, Lin Ray was very sure that they definitely had not entered, or that the people who entered never came out. Therefore, the people outside did not know what was going on inside. Regarding this, he hesitated. He was now hesitating whether he should go in or not. Although this place could lead directly to the 9th Nether Ghost Realm, it would cost him his life. Was it worth it? This question, at this time, quickly ran through Lin Ray's mind. He asked himself if it was worth it. However, at this time, there was a voice in his mind that kept telling him that it was worth it. A few hours had passed. This question kept appearing in Lin Ray's mind. Just when he was uncertain, the figure of his dead wife and child appeared at this moment. The two figures that Lin Ray thought were deeply buried in the quilt and did not want him to think about appeared at this moment. Their innocent faces, her frown and smile, her happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy, all rushed into Lin Ray's mind at this moment. No, it's worth it. How could my wife and child not be worth it? Thinking of this, the demonic haze on Lin Ray's face disappeared completely, leaving only a relaxed smile. Well, what's your answer? Do you want to go down or stop here and turn around immediately? Of course, if you do that, I won't look for you. Moreover, I will give you a chance to enter the ghost realm for free. Hearing this news, Lin Ray was very tempted, but this was not what he wanted. He could not afford to reap something without sowing. Haha, forget it. I haven't reached the point where I need charity from others. Besides, the purpose of this trip was to gain experience. It was a coincidence that I came to the 9th Nether Ghost Realm. Since that's the case, why should I waste such an opportunity? I can cultivate and find my wife and child. Why not kill two birds with one stone? Hearing this, the system couldn't help but smile, but it didn't show it. Instead, it said in a deep voice, "Since you've decided, then do as you please. But I have to congratulate you, because of your determination, you've successfully completed the hidden mission." What, a hidden task? Lin Ray had never thought of such a situation, nor did he know that there was such a thing. Regarding this, Lin Ray was very excited. He had not received such a gift bag for a long time. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for completing the hidden task. Adhere to the Taoist heart. Does the host accept the task reward? Accept. Seeing that the system had been speaking in such an official manner, Lin Ray was really helpless. This kind of question did not need to be asked at all. Okay, please begin to accept. With that, an oversized gift box appeared above Lin Ray's head out of thin air. Looking at him, Lin Ray was very excited. He waved his hand above his head, and a strong suction force gushed out in an instant, rushing toward the gift box. Suddenly, the suction force wrapped the gift box. The next moment, the huge gift box fell down toward Lin Ray below. Damn it! Looking at the gift box that was falling toward him, Lin Ray's heart skipped a beat, and he quickly shouted to the side to dodge. With a bang, the gift box fell to the ground, and a loud sound was heard. Lin Ray's face broke out in cold sweat. Just hearing the sound made him feel scared, not to mention being hit. "TSK, look at you!" Suddenly, it was the little dragon's voice. The moment he heard his voice, Lin Ray turned his head in surprise, only to see the little dragon standing behind him at the moment, looking at him unhappily. The little dragon's expression made Lin Ray very confused. At this moment, Lin Rei was still asking himself in his heart, I don't think I have offended him. Humph, you brat, if you had agreed to the system's request just now and went back and got the opportunity to enter the world of spirits and souls, then I'm afraid you won't be able to see me in the future. As soon as the words came out, Lin Rei's heart trembled. Only then did he know why the little dragon had such an expression. However, he expressed doubts about the little dragon, saying that he would not be able to see him in the future. Linli looked at Xiaolong with a puzzled look in his eyes. Xiaolong, of course, understood the puzzlement in Linli's eyes. Xiaolong immediately explained, If you can't be firm on your own path of cultivation, then tell me, why should I help you? Help you become a strong expert? Help you find your wife? You almost found out just now. Hearing his words, Lin Rei completely understood at this moment. At the same time, Lin Rei was also rejoicing in his heart. He was glad that he made the right choice. If he knew that because of his choice, he lost a fellow family member, a family member, the little dragon, he would definitely regret it to death. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei's eyes were filled with joy. Okay, I got it. In the future, I will definitely not let other things affect my path of cultivation. This is my promise to you, Lin Rei, a promise to you. Looking at Lin Rei's appearance, the little dragon chuckled. Then, the unhappiness on his face disappeared and was replaced by curiosity. Okay, I won't argue with you about this matter. Hurry up and see what's inside? Regarding the little dragon's change, Lin Rei really didn't know what to say. Before, he looked like he was about to die, but now he was full of smiles. Lin Rei helplessly shook his head. Okay. After saying that, Lin Rei turned to look at the huge gift box in front of him. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't excited. Looking at the gift box in front of him with great excitement, Lin Rei reached out and touched it. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for receiving the gift. Please take your time to appreciate it. The system's voice suddenly sounded. Just as Lin Rei touched the gift box, the system's voice sounded. Immediately, the hand that touched the gift box subconsciously retracted. Ha 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 ha! Hearing the laughter, Lin Rei turned to look at the little dragon who was laughing uncontrollably. His face became awkward. He secretly scolded the system in his heart. Damn, can't you give me a heads up? It's real. It's always like this. You make me feel very helpless. The awkward look caught Lin Rei a little off guard. In order not to let the little dragon see through him, he immediately shifted his attention to the gift box. Okay, hurry up and open the gift box. After saying that, Lin Rei tapped on the two words that opened in front of him. Instantly, the gift box began to open. 3 boxes popped out from inside. The first one was enough to surprise Lin Rei. Ding dong, congratulations on receiving the 4th level of the Chaos Scripture. You have reached the divinity realm and can begin to cultivate. Looking at the cultivation method in front of him, Lin Rei was so surprised that he couldn't control himself. He knew that the probability of bringing out the Chaos Scripture was very low. Lin Rei was very happy about this. Your luck is always so good. Now you can cultivate it directly. No need to wait any longer. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei nodded happily. Then, he put the 4th level of the Chaos Scripture into the system's storage. In the second box there was a bow and arrow. However, there was only a bow and no arrow. Lin Rei was puzzled about this. Ding dong, split the heavens bow. It uses spirit energy as an arrow and draws the bow with one's cultivation. Once the bow is drawn, all demons and everything will be destroyed. It is immeasurable. However, the requirements for the user's physical fitness are very strict. One must be at the divinity realm middle stage to use it. Otherwise, one will suffer from the backlash. Split the heavens bow. The system's introduction made Lin Rei's eyes light up. He didn't expect the split the heavens bow to be among the gift. Even an idiot could understand the meaning of the two words, split the heavens. Not to mention, Lin Rei was such a smart person. Hee, I really suspect that you are the child of destiny. This split the heavens bow is the inheritance of the heavens splitter. If used well, it will be very powerful. Not to mention an ultimate god, even a saint will be killed in one move. At this moment, the little dragon was so shocked that he couldn't control himself. He even started to suspect that his master was the child of destiny. Is that so? At this moment, Lin Rei was also very surprised. He reached out to grab the split the heavens bow, but he failed. Just as he was about to grab it, he was bounced away by the split the heavens bow. Lin Rei was even more surprised. It was the first time he had seen such an automatic defense weapon. At this moment, just like you laugh, seeing Lin Rei's defeated look, he was very happy. Don't think about it. Wait until your physical body reaches the middle stage of the God realm. At this time, it's nothing more than a fool's dream if you want to pick it up. Looking at just like you's smile, Lin Rei didn't have a chance. Instead, he silently put away the split the heavens bow. Ding dong, the spiritual fruit can increase one's spiritual power. It is very helpful for alchemists and formation masters. It can directly increase one's spiritual power by a large level. There are no side effects for those who consume it, and it even has some benefits for the future. What? There's such a thing? Today, nothing surprised Lin Rei the most. The spiritual fruit was what he needed the most now. Can I eat it now? With the previous example, Lin Rei turned his head and asked the little dragon. He didn't want to be laughed at by the little dragon. You can eat it. Just like what he said, there are benefits to eating it. After getting permission, Lin Rei couldn't wait to reach out and grab the spiritual fruit. Looking at the spiritual fruit in his hand, Lin Rei's face revealed an excited smile. This kind of thing was very precious. He believed that there shouldn't be such a thing in the God realm. Heck, kid, you know your stuff. Hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei knew that he had peeped into his heart again. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to answer his words so accurately. The little dragon didn't explain, but continued, You're right. Of course, there's no such thing in the God realm. Even the holy world doesn't have it. This thing grew on the banks of the Wula River. This thing is very precious. If people in the God realm or the holy world knew about it, you can imagine the consequences. Chapter 538. Upon hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei became excited. Regardless of where he was or the murderous aura around him, the moment the little dragon finished speaking, Lin Rei opened his mouth, and the mental fruit instantly turned into a bolt of lightning and flew into Lin Rei's mouth. Let me tell you, this mental fruit is... The little dragon was completely unaware of Lin Rei's actions. When he turned his head, he saw that Lin Rei's hands were empty and the mental fruit was gone. The little dragon was stunned. The only conclusion was that the mental fruit had been eaten by Lin Rei. Thinking of this, the little dragon really had the urge to kill. What's wrong? Looking at the little dragon's nervous expression, Lin Rei had a bad premonition. What do you think? Although you can eat the mental fruit, it has to be eaten separately, not one piece at a time. Its power is not something you can resist. Even a divine being would fight for it. Tell me, what can you, a little cultivator in the divine weapon realm, do? Having said that, the little dragon didn't waste any more time. Immediately after, it struck Lin Rei's back with a huge and gentle force. A huge amount of energy began to be transmitted into Lin Rei's body. Feeling this scene, Lin Rei knew that he made a mistake again. He immediately used his inner vision to spy on the little dragon's energy. Slowly, the energy Xiaolong poured into Zhao Longfei's body helped him seal many of his vital acupoints. Finally, it helped him protect his heart meridians and then his mind. Finally, Zhao Longfei's energy caught up with a huge spiritual force. At this moment, feeling the huge spiritual power, Lin Rei regretted it. If only he had listened to the little dragon's words. Now it was like this every time. Towards this enormous amount of energy, Linley didn't know what to say. All he could say was that if this energy had entered his mind, he would probably have become an idiot by now. An idiot without any consciousness. Silly boy, can't you wait for me to finish speaking before absorbing it? You're always in such a hurry. Can't you let me be at ease? The little dragon's face started to turn pale. Although it was complaining about Lin Rei in its heart, the energy in its hands continued to transfer. It didn't stop at all. Instead, it increased the transfer. Time ticked by. Lin Rei did not know how long it had been, but he knew that it must have been a long time. During this period of time, Lin Rei's cultivation had unknowingly made a breakthrough to mid-stage Divine Guard. However, his cultivation was still floating, and he had no choice but to continue to strengthen himself. Otherwise, all traces of his cultivation would be destroyed. Lin Rei could do nothing about this. After all, this was done by the little dragon, and he couldn't say anything about it. However, he was aware of the condition of Lin Rei's body. But he had to do this. If he didn't raise his cultivation as soon as possible, that huge amount of mental energy would cause Lin Rei to explode. However, during this period of time, the little dragon had been continuously transferring energy to Lin Rei. As a result, his aura was very weak at this moment. It was so weak that it could be blown away by a gust of wind. His body had turned from a corpse to a transparent one. His face was filled with a bitter smile, but he didn't change his actions because of his body. Haha, now you really know how to torture people, huh? If it weren't for the fact that my energy was enough to suppress the energy of the psychic fruit, I'm afraid you would have become a soul like me. The little dragon's brows bunched when he saw Lin Rei's calm expression. His eyes focused, and he instantly released the hand that was stuck on Lin Rei's back. But at this moment, his other hand, which was also very useful, began to rapidly form mysterious seals. If Lin Rei were to see this, he would certainly be astonished. This was because each of these seals was extremely powerful. He knew that he wasn't a match for any of these seals. Seal the heavens, lock. Instantly, the seals began to move faster and faster. At this moment, the two words seal the heavens were shouted out. Instantly, a pair of hands were placed on Linley's temples. Those mysterious runes instantly entered Linley's mind, locking down that mysterious spiritual energy. Humph! The light of an ant dares to compete with the brilliance of the sun and moon. Be quiet. Sensing that the mental energy was still not obedient under his seal, he immediately pressed another seal on it. In an instant, that squirming mental energy quieted down. After doing all this, the little dragon's body's energy could only support him to stand. Just as he moved the mental energy in Lin Rei's mind, his body loosened and his body instantly fell outside. Haha, cough. Finally, it's over. If it had continued for a while, I'm afraid I would really have to say goodbye to this world. Looking at the sitting Lin Rei and his weak body, the little dragon couldn't help but smile bitterly. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't wake up in time. It wasn't because of anything else, but because this time, not only did he have a breakthrough in his cultivation, even his alchemy, formation, and weapon refining had all improved at this moment. Feeling grateful, Lin Rei was very excited. Misfortune is a blessing in disguise, and a blessing in disguise, ha ha ha. At this moment, Lin Rei was very happy, but he didn't know that the little dragon who did all this for him was about to go into a deep sleep. This time, he didn't know how long it would take for him to wake up. Is it worth it? The stiff electronic synthesized voice sounded. Sitting on the ground, his body was already transparent. And, the little dragon said with a smile, it's not worth it or not, only willing or not. I'm willing to do it for him. Even if I die, I'm willing to do it for him. At this moment, the little dragon's tone was very firm. His eyes were shining as he looked at Lin Ray, who was sitting in front of him. Do you know how weak you are right now? With that, a series of words appeared in front of the little dragon. Name: Sky Dragon. Gender: male. Age: unable to display. Status: weapon. Spirit status: weak. Cultivation: Tendo Sage. All victories: the Supreme of Hongmeng. So what? So what if he's the Supreme of Hongmeng? I believe that this kid's future will be immeasurable. Moreover, it's good that I leave now. It's good that he learns to be independent. He can't come to me every time he needs help. Otherwise, he'll really be ruined in the future. At this point, the little dragon revealed a relaxed smile. Looking at Lin Ray, who was cultivating, the little dragon supported himself with both hands on the ground and stood up with difficulty. He limped and trembled as he walked towards the depths of the system. Right, when can the system be upgraded? The little dragon strolled and asked the system in a weak voice. Although he didn't intend to care about Lin Ray, he still couldn't help but want to ask. The system chuckled. Soon. I've been in the divine realm for so long. Although the spiritual energy here isn't pure, it's still better than Mississippi. So it won't take long. At most, a few months. Hearing the system's voice, the little dragon nodded. Okay, this time I'll help him open the scripture pavilion. When I'm not around, that should be what he needs the most. After saying that, the little dragon closed his mouth and walked into a dark cave. The moment he entered, the cave disappeared completely. Well said. Should we let go? Looking at the little dragon who disappeared, the system couldn't help but say. Then, it also disappeared. Suddenly, the entire system quieted down. Go to the Mud Pill Palace, Shenhui Sea, Chongxian Gate. Go to the Spirit Sea and fuse with it. At this moment, Lin Ray was completely unaware of the little dragon's situation. He also didn't know that even before he left, the little dragon still didn't let go of his arrangements for the future. At this moment, Lin Ray was wholeheartedly focused on cultivation. His only thought at this moment was to quickly break through those 3 levels. This way, the chances of entering those levels would increase by a few notches, not only for himself, but also for Lu Ying, for Lin Tian, and for everyone else. Time passed little by little. During this time, Lin Ray constantly compressed his spiritual energy so that he could break through as soon as possible. However, it was very painful to compress spiritual energy. Every day, Lin Ray compressed it to the limit, but he didn't dare to continue. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but he couldn't. Every time he reached a certain limit, he would feel terrified and uneasy. For some reason, when he reached that limit, Lin Ray would stop and cultivate for a while before starting to compress again. This lasted for a long time. Finally, today, he felt that his cultivation was about to break through. Looking at the spiritual energy that had been compressed to a certain extent, Lin Ray's heart was filled with excitement. Come on, the last compression. Success or failure depends on this one move. Looking at the spiritual energy, Lin Ray instantly released his cultivation and entered the Spirit Sea for the last compression to break through. Compress for me. In an instant, his cultivation started to compress his spiritual energy. Little by little, his spiritual energy started to shrink again. However, this process was very painful, so much so that Lin Ray's face contorted and he broke out in cold sweat. Ha! Ha ha, I can endure any more pain, let alone you. Compress for me. Lin Ray, who was feeling the pain, couldn't care less. In order to break through as soon as possible, in order to enter the realm he wanted to enter, he had already thrown everything out. In an instant, a huge amount of energy surged into his spirit sea and started to compress it rapidly. Instantly, the rapid compression of his spirit sea spread throughout the entire system space along with Lin Ray's pained screams. At this moment, the 20 over-Azuras who were cultivating in the training field felt uneasy when they heard this scream. They all stood up and prepared to rush towards the source of the scream. Get back here! When the system, which had been watching them, saw that they were about to leave, a huge amount of energy suddenly appeared and wrapped around them. In an instant they returned to their original positions. Seeing this scene, all the Azuras were shocked. During this period of time, their souls had been cultivating and the energy of the 1,000-legged soul worm. Some of them had already reached the divine sect and monarch god level. However, at this moment they were being suppressed like this. Anyone would be shocked. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.